What up, Nine?
Trapaholics Mixtapes.
As the 9% and word would say, make a better you, a better us.
Give them what they ask for.
Who do you think you are? I'm the word. Boy, I'm the one who put in the work.
When I move, is it a quick rumble? I won't ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. We about to get into it. But before we get into that, let me get into the chat. What up, Nine? Commander, the Minister of Defense is in the building. The General, stop playing with me. What up, Nine? Appreciate you, sis. That's my Nine. Hustle, what up, my brother? Appreciate you, man. Hope everything was going good on your end, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah. Like Commander just said in the chat, we just came from Gary's Mr. 33's sports channel. You know, we over there every Monday, every Friday before we come on over here. So if you ain't there, get over there. You know, get over there, check us out. We don't only talk about sports. We talk about life, man, and we have fun while we doing it. So definitely check out Mr. 33 Sports Channel. Talk about all sports. He about to even start talking about I don't know, just anything that's a sport he go talk about. You know, Gary. Gary talk about everything. So yeah, definitely get over there. Dee. What up, though, sis? Appreciate you. Yeah, so if you since y'all wasn't over there with us, y'all wouldn't know they was just clowning me over there for my title. So I have to give it some context, right? Definitely have to give it some context. So take advantage of being on the bottom. So this stems from a conversation we had last night. If you ain't checked that out, go check it out. It's long, but it's worth it, you know. Something to listen to while you ain't doing nothing, you know, or while you doing something, you know, it's just something to listen to. So in the chat, Stoic was saying that he was on rock bottom, you know, like he hit rock bottom. He was talking about the time where he was on the bottom. And I was telling him, you know, use that as an advantage, man, to rebuild yourself, to rekindle the flame, to understand, you know, there's so many opportunities when you're on the bottom. And I say that because I remember when I was younger and a mentor of mine, I had hit rock bottom. And I'm pretty sure we all experienced that in some way, shape, or form, you know. But he told me, like, well, the good thing is you only got one direction to go, and that's up. So when you're on the bottom, you only got one direction to go, and that's up. You can't fall no further. So the bottom is the bottom. So you get the opportunity to learn how to pick yourself up, and you can begin to redefine yourself, develop more skills, acquire more knowledge. You ain't got nowhere else to go but up. So it's the preparation of going up. Nate the Great in the building. What up, though, Nate? Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, so context of this conversation is, what do you do when you're on the bottom? How do you take advantage of that? How do you take advantage when you're on the bottom? Like I said, there ain't nowhere else to go but up. So Just using myself as an example, as I always do. When I was on the bottom, I realized that, man, and I'm like, I want to be better. You know, I got to do better, and I had nothing to lose. So there was no fear in failing no more. There wasn't no what if or none of that. You know, I just had one way to go, and that was up. So, you know, I did some, you know, Gary would say adversity creates diversity, you know. So I wanted everything. I studied a lot of different things, as far as like religion, spirituality. I was trying to find my way. But since I was on the bottom, like I said, I had nothing to lose. So I was able to try all these different things to see what worked. You know, I got to find something to hold on to. So even that, you know, when you're on the bottom, you have nothing to lose, man. You're already on the ground. You're already on the flow. So you might as well swing for the fences. You might as well throw Hail Marys. And that's taking advantage of it. That's taking until you figure out what works. Just keep trying stuff until you figure it out. Because when you're on the top, you got to be more strategic, right? Because you don't want to lose what you got. But when you ain't got nothing, and the bottom can be, you know, there's many different ways people can hit rock bottom. It can be socially, financially, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. So many different bottom levels we can hit, right? But when we down there, we need to do the most with it. Now, I don't talk about that. I don't do victimhood. I talk about empowerment, right? So these topics, the way I'm gonna approach it, I'm empowering people, right? So now you ain't gonna hear me say, "Oh, but when you're on the bottom, people kick you and all that." Motherfucker kick you on the bottom, grab their leg and pull your ass up with their leg. If I'm on the bottom and somebody kick me, I'm gonna use your leg to pick me up. That's the type of shit I be on. It's not about surviving. You know, we get stuck in that survival mode. It's time for us to thrive. And the only way you do that is by doing better. If you're on the bottom, you ain't got nothing else to lose. You ain't got nothing to lose. So you got to swing for the fences. Try new things. Put yourself in different environments. You ain't got nothing to lose. And this is what life is about, the journey. You know, so while you on the bottom, that's a journey in itself. Climb your way to the top. And the more skills, the more knowledge you acquire, when you finally reach your destination, you'll know how to maintain it. A lot of people get put in positions and don't know how to maintain it. So they lose. You see people hit the lottery, they know nothing about finances. So what they do, they blow the money. You see people who get the opportunity to be with a good person in a relationship, good quality person. And what they do, they blow it. Because they don't know what it takes to maintain. Because it was given to them, they didn't appreciate it. And that's what happens a lot in life. God is D, what up, though? That's what happens a lot in life. Because people don't have the experience from the journey and they be given things. So if you're on the bottom, it's about the journey to the top. It's the acquiring knowledge. Seeing what works and see what don't work. Testing things. You can't half-ass do it, because if you finally make it, you ain't gonna know what it takes to maintain it. I had to hit the bottom a couple times. I had to hit the bottom to learn how to stay at the top. I ain't even at the top yet. I'm in mid-journey. I ain't where I want to be, but I'm getting there. It's because of the seeds that I'm planting daily, the things that I'm doing daily, the relationships I'm building daily. That's what's gonna get me and maintain me when I get there. It's the work. If you hit the bottom, it was because of something you did in your past. It's the position you put yourself in by the actions you took in your past. That's why you're at the bottom. So now that you're at the bottom, guess what? You can build that foundation real sturdy and firm. So when you start beginning to build the structure, you'll have a solid structure. We don't take the time to build that solid foundation when we're on the bottom. We don't take that time. This is an advantage of being on the bottom. You can make sure your foundation is solidified. That way, when you begin to build up, even if you get knocked down, you still got a strong foundation to build on. That's why some people who get rich lose their money and never be rich again. But you got some people who be rich, lose their money, and become rich again. Why? Because they had all that solid foundation. That's why. They knew what it took. They went through the journey. So even though they lost it, they didn't know how to get it back. Frankie Blanco, what up, though? Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Mr. Gary Busted Down Brown, what up, Nine? I ain't gonna tell the people what you thought my title was. I ain't gonna start that yet. It's still too early in the show. Give it about another 30 minutes. But that's why the people who become rich lose it, they can gain it back because they got a solid foundation. So the advantages of being on the bottom is building your foundation. It's building it because you got to have fertile, solid ground to build it on in the first place. See, people think when you build a foundation, I just need to build a strong. No, you got to make sure what you're putting that foundation on can handle the weight. So once you find that nice spot to build your foundation on, make sure the foundation is sturdy. Make sure it's firm. Make sure it ain't gonna crack under pressure. And then you start building the structure. People just, what Gary said the other day, people trying to build buildings in sands. Wondering why I keep getting sucked up. Or wondering why I keep falling. Because you're building a structure. You ain't even got a foundation. You just got sand in the structure. You got to find that solid piece of land where it can hold weight. Find something to believe in. Find a program that's bigger than you. Once you find something that's bigger than you, now you can start building the foundation. But until you got that, any foundation you put down go crack under pressure. Just go crack. So the advantages of being at the bottom is being able to build yourself right. You as a person. Stop worrying about everybody else. I don't care what nobody do. Not before I care about what I do. The only time I care about what other people do if it affects me. If it don't, then hey, do your thing. I'm too busy building myself up to worry about how somebody else building themselves up. We worry about things we can't control. We worry about things that don't even benefit us. That's neglecting your foundation. You're neglecting it, man. And you wonder why when adversity comes, it breaks. That's like 3 Little Pigs, right? One building a straw house, one building a stick house, kept getting blew down. That house made of cement or blocks or bricks. That was on a solid foundation. So the structure was very sturdy. So without the solid land, without the solid foundation, no matter what structure you built it on, it's going to fall apart. But if you got all 3 of those, then you're good to go. Yeah, bro. You don't even want to know what he said, bro. You got to go watch Sports Chat. I ain't even going to tell y'all. You got to go watch Sports Chat. They had me over there tripping for a minute, bro. They had me over there tripping. I'm like, bro, you can't say nothing around Gary and Commander. You can't say nothing around. I'm just talking crap so they can come up here. But oh crap! Hold on, give me 1 second. Nah, Frankie don't think like that. Nah, don't push that on Frankie. Don't push that on Frankie. But that's what you got to do. So while you on the bottom, man, don't be ashamed. Don't be fearful. Nah, man, just start building. Start working on yourself, man. Start working on yourself. You don't. This is I be wondering these things sometimes, about other people because you don't really know what's in another person's mind. You can be around a person your whole life and really still truly not understand what's on their mind at any random time. So I always wonder, like when I hear people and they project certain things, I wonder do they believe that about themselves or do they just say that because it sounds good? I be wondering that. And then you can see people who don't use the words but their actions to show you who they are. And now those people, they easy to read. They predictable. And that's what make them type of people comfortable with me. People who show with their actions and their words, or not only their words, but definitely show with actions with the way they do. Because you see it before you hear it. So hearing it just gives it confirmation. But when you hear it before you see it, it's kind of anticipation. Like somebody say, well, I'm like this, and you never get the opportunity to see it, right? So you just anticipate, well, if something happened, they said they was like this. Something happened, they said they was, but you never seen it. And then when the opportunity finally presents themselves to be who they are, you see something different. So when people tell you before you see it creates anticipation. But when you see it and then they tell you, it creates confirmation. They just confirm their action, their words are confirming what they do. Their words confirm what they do. Yeah, y'all gonna have me cutting up early in the show. Y'all gonna have me cutting up. You know what? Nah, I ain't gonna play that yet. I ain't about to crash out no time soon. I should put that new one on here. I ain't even downloaded it on here yet. But I edited it a little bit. But yeah, so being on the bottom, man, it ain't the worst thing. It's actually it's a gift and a curse, just as everything. Everything has duality to it. Being on the bottom is a gift and a curse, man. You can either stay down there and woe is me, play the victim, and society, because society is this way, I can't be what I'm. That's what adversities in society. That's opportunity. All the things we have to face in society gives us opportunity to become better, to do better, to redefine ourselves. That's all they do. Any problem that life gives you is an opportunity to become better, to do better, to be better. That's what diversity in life. So if you ever knock down, that's just an opportunity to learn how to get up. That ain't gonna be the first and the last time you get knocked down. But it becomes innate. Okay, I got knocked down. What am I supposed to do from here? Get up. Won't even think about it, like tying your shoe. You just get up, keep it moving. Yeah, self-reflection. That's what it's easy. Like people who practice it though, Frankie. Like I know you practice it. I practice every time I log off of here, bro. I get in the shower. I've been in the shower for probably about 20 minutes doing my self-reflection. I don't know why I like doing it underwater. It helped me think better when I'm underwater. Like when the water running on my head, I'm thinking back about, so I do it then, and then I do it throughout the day too, because like even if I do it live, I listen to it in the morning. That's reflecting on it, saying what I did, what I could do better, what I should do more, what I should do less. I always evaluate myself. Everything I do, I take the time to evaluate it because there's something in there's a lesson in there. And if I don't evaluate it, I won't learn it. Because a lot of times you'll miss it in real time, but you go back and look at it from like a third person or just thinking about an experience you had that day. An encounter, interaction you had with a person. Maybe I was walking to the store and the person didn't hold the door open and I got upset. Now I can reflect back, well, why did I get upset? I don't expect nobody to do nothing. So when they do it, I'm just grateful. But people will be people. So nah, I gotta check I shouldn't be getting upset for that. But now I gotta realize why I got upset. I got upset because it really wasn't that situation. It was something else, and that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. You know how many times I had days like that? Or I felt myself get upset at something somebody did, and then when I think about it, like, I wasn't even mad at them. It was just like it was just an excuse or justification for me to be mad. But I was really mad at this. So I need to fix this. So I won't be mad at shit like that. You know, that's like self-reflection is one of them. That's like a cheat code, man. That's a cheat code, but you got to be honest with yourself, man. You got to be honest, and you need some tools while you self-reflecting, like accountability, man. Like people think accountability is, oh, well, I did this, so I'll be accountable. Man, accountability is for any part you played. If it was passive or if it was aggressive. If you was playing the main role or if you was playing a supporting role. You might have just been an extra in the situation. You might not even, you know how they call them people for movies and they give them parts where they just walking down the street. You might have been that person, bro, in the situation, but you still got to take accountability for even taking that role, for even playing that role. So accountability is not making excuses or justification, but finding a solution to fix the situation. That's what accountability is. That's the word's definition. BDB, what up, though? How you living? How you feeling? What up, Nine? But it helps me create guardrails for future. Yes. And because you're looking at a situation like, okay, even this, bro, it's times like it's stuff that I'm working on myself that I'm like, I can't be around these type of people because that shit trigger me. Okay, so the less I'm around them, the more I can tolerate them. You know, and then as I'm working on sometimes, man, this is why Buddhist monks go in the Himalayan mountains and shut everything out because they're working on themselves. Right. Sometimes when you work on yourself, bro, you can't put yourself in situations where you're gonna be influenced or stimulated. You can't put yourself in those situations. Bro. You gotta be smart enough to take yourself out of a situation until you have the knowledge or the tools to actually conquer that situation. That's what you got to do. And self-reflection is a must, man. Know your weaknesses and know your strength. You know, and once you do that, you can work on your strength. People, man, I work on my strengths and my weaknesses, bro. I don't like when people try to limit me to their own limitations. I don't like that shit. I can do anything I put my mind to it. My grandmama told me that. My mama told me that. And I believe that shit because I done seen it. Anything I put my mind to, I can do. So I'm not confined by, oh, well, you can't do this because it's not logical. Fuck logic, bro. I create my own logic. I don't know why people don't think like that. Now, I ain't gonna do nothing too crazy now. I ain't gonna try to reinvent the wheel. You know, I ain't slow, but like, bro, I use things as tools. Ignorance, I will use hate. If I find it appropriate to use in a situation, I will definitely use hate. I promise you I would. Whatever is useful, whatever is available, it has duality to it. Meaning I can use it to benefit me or hurt me. That's why the creator created everything. That's why God said I created good and evil. Because sometimes your ass need to be evil to be good. You might have to be evil to be good sometimes. Well, that don't go together. Peanut butter and jelly do. And they two different things. You put it on a piece of bread and put it together, and it's delicious. So guess what? I'm going to use good and evil just like peanut butter and jelly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use it when it's beneficial to my situation. Like when people, like I tell you, oh, I'm fighting my demons inside. Nah, man, make peace with them. Them yours. Them are your demons. Them demons was assigned to you for a reason. You might need them one day. So just keep them cool, keep them calm, keep them collected, put them in check, get them in balance, put them in harmony, whatever you want to call it. But them are yours. You get rid of them demons and you meet Lucifer, you ain't got nothing to fight with. You ain't got nothing to fight with, bro. You got nothing. Craig, what up, though? They got lost in the chat. Hold on, let me pin it. Thought I pinned the link. My bad. Whole little team. Y'all know I can't see. I think I be doing stuff and I really don't. Oh, why are you making noise? Be quiet. Okay, somebody got typed something. Oh, there you go. Okay, now it's pinned. The word you heard, my boy Craig in the building. What up, though? Oh God, Terry, level within me, and see, even you recognizing that. Why do people look? I know I'm getting a little bit off subject, but so what? Why do people get so offended when you say shit like that? When you look at yourself in a positive light, like I know the work I did. If I can call myself a devil, I can call myself an angel. Like when you say stuff like I told, like when people hear me say I'm a divine being having a human experience, you say you God. No, bro, I ain't never said I was God, bro. I said a divine being, bro. I ain't say the ultimate being. I'm just a fragment of the creator. I'm a fragment of the greatest thing that created creation. That's what I am. I know what I am. I'm loved by it, bro. I feel it inside. I be all tingly and shit. So I know God love me, bro. Yeah, I know that. I ain't saying I'm Jesus. I ain't trying to walk on water. I'm good, bro. I ain't saying I'm perfect. I ain't saying none of that. I'm just saying I'm a divine being having a human experience, meaning I'm a divine being who will make a whole hell of a lot of mistakes. And that's why I'm here. To make mistakes and learn from them. That's why I'm here. That's the only way I can expand my consciousness to see what works and what don't work. So yeah, I'm a divine being having a human experience. People be intimidated by that. You tell people, nah, man, I don't need no middleman. I got a connection with the creator. Well, how you got a connection? Like everybody else did. Abraham, they had a connection, didn't he? Yeah, okay, I got one too. Moses, yeah, I got one too. I mean, he didn't give me no stick to turn into no snake or nothing like that, but he gave me this pretty awesome life. Shit. Yeah, I got a connection with the divine. I'm cool. Whoa, you ain't following the rule in the book. Man, that book was written 2,000 years ago. I don't know what that shit say. We really know what that say? People just now understanding what transliteration mean. And you telling me you know what that book say? Man, look, I know enough of it to feel good about what I'm doing. You know, you believe in Jesus? Nah, I know. And this the thing too. They be trying to get you stuck on that believe shit. Like some of the smartest sounding people in the world want you to believe. Like, bro, you know that shit leaves doubt. You know what belief do? That shit leaves you all discombobulated. When the shit going right with belief, you feel good. When the shit going bad, you feel bad. That's what belief do. With me knowing, when shit go good, I feel good. When shit go bad, I feel good. Like, you know what? This is just temporary. You know, I'm gonna see my way through this. Why? Because the divine told me. The divine got me, bro. I know law of rhythm, bro. I know my universal laws. I got ups and downs in life. This is what happened when you know. So when you go down, you're like, okay, it's nothing but opportunity. It's just an opportunity for me to step back and see what I was doing wrong so I can correct it and move forward. That's how people talk when they got a connection with the creator. They don't question God. I don't pray. I praise. I do not pray, bro. I'm grateful for life and for death. I'm grateful for it all, for the pain and the joy. I'm grateful. That's what happened when you got that connection. But when you ain't got it, you ain't got it. That's what happened when you ain't got it, you ain't got it. I ain't questioning God. I can't remember one time in my life I questioned, oh God, why? Well, if you read the Bible, you know why. Because fucked up shit happened. It's supposed to happen to everybody in the Bible. Even the most, shit, Peter got hung upside down. Jesus got crucified. So if the Son of God went through that, what makes you think you ain't gonna go through it? Thought you read the Bible. All that's in the book. Even Jesus did it, right? And then he caught himself. So what makes you so special that you ain't supposed to go through shit? That you ain't supposed to have heartache and pain? What makes you so special? Because you believe? Well, if you knew, you'll be good to go. You'll take your bumps and your bruises. if you knew. Well, it's not fair. It ain't supposed to be. It never. Bro, ain't nothing in the Bible said nothing about no damn fairness, bro. Motherfuckers turning their head, getting turned to pillars of salt. Man, hell no. Ain't nothing fair. Mm-mm. As a janitor, I am a master of custodial art. Hey, bro. That's how you gotta look at Ranking, you a nut, bro. Y'all tripping already, man. Well, fuck it. Since y'all tripping already, we 30 minutes in. Commander, why we keep pushing peanut butter petty time closer? We said an hour. Now we're going 30 minutes. I can't even play it yet. I can't even play it. Don't let your hands be idle. Bro. Belief equals religion. Knowing is spiritual. Spirit is connected. Bro, this is what I'm saying. So being at the bottom, bro, if you know all these things, you can fully take advantage of it. I keep telling y'all the secret sauce, and one day it's going to make sense. Probably not till I'm dead, though. It ain't going to make sense till I'm dead. But the things you did yesterday put you in the position that you're in today. Knowing that should empower you and help you make better decisions, plant better seeds. That way the future is brighter. That's as easy as that. It's not hard. If you look where you at and you don't like it, look at what you did before. Try to do the opposite of exactly what you did before. I'm telling you this shit from experience, right? I just looked at my life like, damn, I don't like where I'm at. Well, what was I doing? Okay, I was doing that. Oh, let me do the opposite. Instead of hanging out with the boy, let me take my ass to school. Let me go learn something new. Oh, yeah. Now I'm meeting new people, putting myself in new environments and new groups. This is beneficial to me. Now I'm growing. I was hustling. Okay, look, I didn't like the way. Let me do something. Let me go get a job. Okay, I got a job. Okay, I'm still in that side. Let me create a career. Let me get a career. Let's do the opposite of what the fuck you was doing. Let's do the opposite. That's all you got to do. Don't laugh at me, Commander. You have me going on. But I'm dead serious. You do the opposite, man. A lot of stuff. And like, man, people settle. Y'all know I hate this. People settle for the bottom and they make themselves comfortable. Start putting couches and shit down there, area rug, flat screen TV, all at the bottom and shit. Trying to make it comfortable not only for them, but for you too. And then as you climbing up, motherfuckers trying to come down here and watch Jerry Springer with me. Come watch this bullshit with me. They be trying to keep your ass on the bottom with them because they done made themselves comfortable. But then you go down there, they want you to pay rent and shit. Like, hold on, bro, we on the bottom. This shit free. Fuck. You know, like, nah, man, you got to watch them people too. The mediocrity, people who settle for shit. It's some things in life you should settle for, right? And it's not even settling because it's normal. Like when I told someone I don't settle. Well, you settle for your wife. Actually, I didn't. I went and got what I wanted, and now I'm just appreciating it. I didn't settle because if I would have settled for my wife, I would have married somebody like I did the first time. But I didn't do that. So there's a difference between settling for something and from acquiring and appreciating what you got. There's a difference between those two. Like, people want to attach concepts to shit that they don't belong to. If you go out and bust your ass to get something and you content with that and you nurture it and you grow that, that's not fucking settling. That's me acquiring what I desired, what I needed, what I wanted. And now that I got it, I'm going to take care of it. That's not fucking settling. Settling is like, well, fuck it. I'm going to just take this because it was given to me because it's easy. It's low hanging fruit. Well, I found this apple on the ground. It don't matter if it got 6 or 7 wormholes in it. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat it. I ain't going to climb the tree where ain't no goddamn worms in the apple. I'm going to eat the one on the ground with all the holes in it. That's settling, bro. You climbing that tree going to get that apple and sitting up there eating it, that's not settling. But that's what people do. And because look, man, when people start projecting their limitations on you, get away, bro. Because they will never see you better than they see themselves. They can't. It ain't in them. People think because they can't accomplish things or do things or power through things that you can't neither. Those ain't your people. Those ain't your. Them will be the people who hinder your growth, right? And look, in life, like I told you, I use everything that's beneficial to me. This is when I turn asshole mode on. When I become an asshole, right? Now, some people you just look. Some people just they ain't quality people. It is what it is. Everybody got the opportunity to build themselves up to something. I don't feel bad for people who settle for mediocrity. If that's what they want, then that's their life. Ain't got nothing to do with me. But I ain't got to deal with the shit neither. I don't have to accept it. Nah, I ain't accepting it. I'm good. You know, and even when we talking about developing stuff, I ain't talking about no material shit. I don't care about what you obtain, materialize. I know rich people that's cool. I know rich people that's assholes, right? I know poor people that's cool. I know poor people that's assholes. Materials don't mean shit to me. It don't impress me. None of that shit do. It's your character. I don't care how many degrees you got. I don't care how many boats and holes you got. I don't care about none of that stuff, bro. It's your character. It's the value. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. So I got to deal with the fleshly stuff, but I know what the real thing is. And it's that soul. Is it light or is it dark? If it's up or is it down? It's that soul. You know, everybody else, oh, you got all these subscribers. I don't give a fuck about your subscribers. What are you saying? What are you doing to get your subscribers? What are you doing? A stadium will always have more people in it than the classroom. And tell me what you learned in the stadium. What value you paying to be entertained? You paying to be distracted? That's what people come on here to do. They come on here and they pay their time and their attention to be distracted, and that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that because shit, we all can use a distraction sometimes. That's fine. But I'm not about to put nobody on the pedestal because you're a master distractor. You giving no substance or essence to the people. You actually devolving people. I think a lot of people are here. I mean, just I don't know. You distracting people from working on themselves. That's how I look at it. But it's in the manner of people do it. If you're doing it to hurt other people and shit like come on now. It's people on here that's funny and they still be teaching you stuff. You learn some random crazy shit. Like I didn't even know that. Shout out to Chris Lestrange, man. I go over there, man. I'll be listening. I'll be like, bro, you be talking about some weird shit that I just never heard of, but I just learned something new. You know, you go over, I mean, it's channels out here where you can even be entertained, man. They don't take too much of your time up. You can be entertained, but it's substance, man. You only get a short time on this earth, like it or not. Everybody, we here for a limited time only, right? But what you gonna do with that time? You be distracted majority of the time. But what's the benefit of working on yourself? Because working on yourself, you become better for the generation that's coming under you. So the better you are, the better they can be. But if you ain't shit, they might not be shit neither. So you have to work on yourself. That's your legacy. You have to be the best version of yourself to give them the opportunity to be the best version of themselves. So the effects you have in this generation can affect the next 2-3 generations. So what are you gonna affect them with? What we do can have an impact on the next 2 generations. That's legacy, man. People so selfish nowadays, they don't even think. Back in the day, that was everything. Legacy was everything. What can I leave to make the next generations better? What can I do great to help my next generation? People don't think about it. People just try to get all they can get out of this life and then they gone. Can't take none of the shit with you. Ain't none of the shit going with you. So what you leaving? Brokenness? Debt? heartache, pain, confusion. What you leaving? I did not know that. Without Lucille Ball, we wouldn't have Star Trek. That's crazy, bro. Do they show up or do they just click that button? Hey, the material stuff is going to stay here when we leave. Facts, bro. You want to elevate you. Be around those who are where you want to be, bro. And that I wish I knew that. But see, to even do that, you know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself in the position for these people to even want to be around you. You know, and a lot of that is just humility. Just shut the fuck up and learn. So, look, man, it's times where I go places and I'm just a sponge, bro. I just humble myself. Like, man, these people, they where I'm trying to be. So I gotta be quiet. I gotta learn, be humble. You know, I'm not on a level. I'm not, but if I can be on a level, if I learn from them, I can surpass. And that's what I always did. I surpassed a level. But to even do that, you got to humble yourself, man. So a lot of times people want to be the smartest one in the room, and you in a room full of dummies. I ain't trying to be funny, man. I done seen this shit on this app so many times. Motherfucker be so desperate to be the smartest one in the room, they go to a room full of dummies just to feel smart. Like, god damn, bro. Like, goddamn, just to be the smartest one in the room, you go to a room full of dummies. Nah, but you gotta put yourself in a position like I call it investment. You know, Gary would say it's a sacrifice. You know, what up, Nine?
What up, Nine?
Did you come save me from ranting?
No, you're good. You can keep going, keep going.
Oh,
Unless
but
you must feel like you're ranting.
I always feel like I'm ranting. Actually, that's my goal is to rant because I feel like when I rant, I'm more authentic.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm more authentic. This is what my mom was telling me to do when I first came on here. It was like, just go off, just talk your shit, you know. And I'm like, okay, and I wouldn't do it, but now I feel comfortable doing it now. It's like I hit the bottom of YouTube. I was doing good, then I did bad, and now it's like I'm gonna just do me. When I hit that bottom, I just got comfortable. Like, fuck it. If people listen to it, they go listen to it. If they don't, then they don't. I ain't trying to appease no certain crowd. I'm pro-black, y'all. Nah, I ain't doing none of that shit. I'm a 9. That's what I am. I'm straight. I tried to do all that shit, man. I tried to make everyone happy. You can't make motherfuckers happy. They just bitter inside, walking around with PTED, post-traumatic embitterment disorder. Motherfuckers mad at shit since they were 6. I'm good. I can't help you on that.
We definitely can't make everyone happy.
LD in the building. What up, though?
Hey, LD. Chat,
The
where you at?
Chat, where you at? Stop playing. I'm waiting for Gary to come up here to tell the people what he thought the title of the show was. I want him to explain
No.
it. I want him to explain it.
No, but you're cooking right now. Keep cooking.
But
you're talking about you read someone's chat, right? About being around people that are better than you.
Yeah, it's just I seen some people. It's like they only really deal with chats where, man, I'm not gonna put a jacket on nobody fit, but I see what I see, and it's like people put themselves around chats where they feel like they're the smartest in the chat because they get intimidated. Like, that's because you faking that shit, bro. You ain't smart. Smart people don't have to act smart. You gotta act smart, bro. It's acting, meaning it ain't real. That's what acting is. Like, just acquire the knowledge, man. Do the work, bro. That's all you gotta do. That shit'll just flow out of you, man. I can be sitting here talking and be saying shit, and it's no nonchalant because I know the shit. It's just the difference between, and I know a lot of what I know because I practice it. It's shit in the book that I can tell you. I can't recite it like the book, but I can tell you how to do it. I done practiced it so much. I said, "Fuck the book."
Right. But if you apply it in real life, I mean, sometimes you do have to just get rid of. But people come on here for different reasons. Like,
Yeah,
you know, some people just come on here to distract, and maybe their real life is different, and they just want to come on here to talk shit. You know, but does it have an
yeah.
effect on their real life? I guess it depends on how much of it they do.
And see, I like for me, it does have an effect. Nothing you do on here will not have an effect in real life. This is real life. This is real life. People try to disassociate the two. No, this is real life, bro. This shit has an effect. You would say something or encounter somebody on here, and you'll take that energy off her into your everyday life. It's like talking. This ain't no
Yeah.
different than talking on the phone, bro. Like people
Or like
try to
you
be
were,
like, oh,
sorry,
oh,
my
go ahead.
bad.
Oh no,
No,
that's
like you were saying, people make a couch and they get themselves all comfortable. Like you
yeah.
start adding stuff to, yeah, to where, yeah. Then all of a sudden you're comfortable saying things that you wouldn't say in real life.
Yeah, yeah, LD. Not even just a social ladder. It can be mentally, financially, it can be emotionally. Just hitting rock bottom, period. It's just an opportunity to redefine ourselves, to build a solid foundation. It's an opportunity. Most people don't take it. Some people just climb their way back up and then they fall back down, climb their way back up without ever really fixing what got them to the bottom in the first place. Then you got some people who be on the bottom like, fuck it, get a futon, get a love seat, they get a motherfucking 13-inch TV, and they just be chilling, bro, eating steak out of microwaves and shit like that. They just make a home out of it.
When you were talking earlier, you were saying like you pick yourself up, right? Like some people might get that. Well, some people get an epiphany. Like who was saying? I think it was Stoic was saying. I think he said an epiphany, but that doesn't happen to everybody.
No, it don't.
No, it
It,
doesn't.
it's all about the mindset. It's how people look at things.
But I
It's
think
literally. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
for some people, like, okay, if you're trying to pick yourself up, but then like something holds you back. That's what came to my mind. Like you pick yourself up, but then something's holding you down. Like something's at your leg pulling you down, and you have to really think of what those things are and how to get rid of it.
And that's why we insert that tool. Frankie said self-reflection. Can't nothing really hold you down but you, unless somebody physically holds you down. Then that's a whole, horse of a different color. But usually
But people
people
do
hold
hold you
themselves down.
down. They may not be physically grabbing you, but they got a hold
And
of
then,
you.
and see, even that, it's like I I understand it because it's been like I give you an example. My old director, I thought we was cool. Black lady. The supervisor position came up. She gave it to a white lady. And then the people around her start telling me why. She's like, oh, because she don't feel like she can control you. I'm like, man, we cool as hell. I hang out with her daughter and everything. Right. But she just felt like I'm like, damn. But she didn't want me. She liked how I ran the afternoon shift. And she knew she couldn't get nobody to do it the way I did it. Because with me there, you only need 2 people. When I left, they had to hire 4 people.
Hmm.
So it went from just paying 2 people to paying 4 people. So I'm like, damn, she holding me down. Guess what I did? I fucking left. That ain't for me. So a lot of times when people, what they holding you down in?
That's
Like
true.
if you grown, man, shit, if you got to move out the state, that's what that is. That's just you can't go no further on this path. Now you got to pick a new path. This wasn't the right path for you in the first place.
And what do we say?
Because
Like you might be comfortable, but you got to
mm-hmm,
get uncomfortable.
mm-hmm,
Like you
we
did
got
that. You left the place. It probably wasn't as
very fucking
comfortable,
uncomfortable.
right?
Very. I'm talking. I went from getting a steady paycheck to uh being paid on commission because I went into real estate. So it was like months I didn't have a paycheck. And then when I finally sold a house, I'm like, what you mean I gotta wait 45 days? I gotta wait 45 days, so that's a whole nother month. I gotta wait. I got bills. I done been living out my savings, but I figured it out. Okay, well, let me rent these. Let me rent some while I'm in the midst of selling houses. Let me get some people in rentals because those checks come like every week, and then I got good at that. Yeah, I made
But
10
did you
racks
know
in a
though?
month.
Okay, so
No,
when
but
you left that job, did you know you wanted to get into the real estate thing?
yeah, I did know I
You
wanted to
already
get into
knew?
it. Yeah, because I was working on houses on the side.
Okay, so you knew.
Yeah, and I was working with a real estate agent. Like he was buying houses and hiring, the crew to fix them up. And I was just doing it on the side. Like I was doing drywall work, on the weekend.
But
And I
you
mean, he was
jumped
paying
in.
good. So,
But some
so
people
I
might
started
say,
talking to him and like, you doing what? You making what off this house? You done flipped this house? You done bought it for 5,000 and flipped it for 35? Hold on, bro. Let me do that. You only put 10,000 into it? Oh, I can do that. And I was
some
like, but
people
I
have
didn't.
families and can't just jump and do that. But you could save money up
You
to
can
hold you
you can
over for that
prepare
45
yourself.
days.
Yes, you can prepare yourself, but it's different, man. It's so like when you're doing real estate, people be stuck on selling houses. I know people who specialize in renting houses. You get those checks. So if I used to work in this one area, right? So you get half of the month's rent, right? So you get half of first month's rent. So they paying 2,400 a month. I'm getting 1,200. You know how easy it is to help somebody rent? They just got to pass the background check. Once they pass that, it's good to go. Take 2-3 days, and then I get a check the next week. So man, I was renting houses out like more. Like, oh, like I look at shit like that. Like that's a hustle. I just got to find the people. So I start using my Facebook page. I start walking around. Like I'm hooked to the MLS, so I can see who own houses and shit like that. Oh, you rent houses? I was going to people who rent the houses out. I start going to them like, look, I can find you a good tenant. And then you find things that make you different from this. This is how my mind works. When I tell you I'm a fucking hustler, this is what I do. So I'm like, I hooked up with this credit repair company, right? And they had a program in a company where they will, if once you sign up, they will report your rent and it goes toward your credit, because anything you pay monthly technically can go towards your credit report. But what happens is people who rent houses, the homeowner doesn't report it. They don't have to. So it's very rare that a homeowner report to the credit bureau that you paid your rent that month. But if they do, it can help your credit. So once I linked up with that company, I just found people who needed a credit repair, and this is a benefit. I'm showing a renter like, look, they're in this program. So you ain't even in the program actually sending money, so they ain't got to go pick up the money no more. So you just make yourself more of a benefit. So when one person like, shit, I couldn't get over here, but now I can because of this dude. My car is being passed around like crack, bro.
But you would never even got to that. If you hadn't made that jump, you would never got to that.
Hell
So
no, I wouldn't
you
got to
had
that.
to make
You
that
know, even
uncomfortable leap to
my
have
my name right
those
now in a
things.
real, I'm not even, my license is not even active. I have people, I do consult work too. People pay me to help to just look at the statistics of their house and help them sell their house on Zillow. I ain't gonna tell you how much, but it's just because they know me. Oh, you don't need no agent. I tell people that all the time. If you buying a house, go get an agent because you don't pay them. The seller pay them. But if you selling your house, call me. I help you sell your
But
house.
not
You ain't gotta
everyone's
pay
gonna do
nobody.
real estate. Not everyone's gonna
No.
do all those things. So like you're talking about all these details about what you've done or what you did, but like the main point is like taking the leap on something that you're gonna take a risk on and invest
And when you do
your
it, do that shit to
time,
the highest ability.
your effort.
Make yourself stand out. No matter, even when I did anesthesia assistant, I looked at what everybody did, and I seen what they needed, and I filled that role. They created a whole new. I started off as an anesthesia tech. I ended as an anesthesia assistant just from the classes I took, and I took like 4 different classes, learned how to do phlebotomy. I took different classes on the drug so I could help them with the drug. I just took different classes nobody took. And I was the first person to do that shit. So I redefined my position.
There's a saying that you burn the boat so that you don't have an option to get back on that boat to save yourself off the island. You're stuck on the island having to make do. You have to like fight to survive. So sometimes when you're like stuck in somewhere comfortable, and maybe you are saving money, which is good because it's good to prepare, but at some point you got to burn the boat so that
Robert, what up,
you have
though?
to fight. You don't have that comfortable place to fall back on, because what happens sometimes we fall back to that comfortable spot.
Yeah, my comfortable spot has been uncomfortable. I've learned to be comfortable, and that shit weird because I'm telling you, when things go right, I look for extra shit to do. Like when things are smooth, I look for extra shit to do. I put shit on my plate knowing I can't eat it all at once.
What up, Robert?
That's the only bad thing. You gotta even in that you gotta find a balance. Even in that,
It could
I
be
have to find
a
a
job
balance.
holding you down. It could be a
People,
girlfriend
man.
holding you down.
Mm-hmm.
It could be your family holding you down.
Yep.
An addiction. A state of mind. Right? A tragic event. Some people have many things holding them down.
And they just build up and build up. But even
so do you work on them one by one? How do you, when you have many things holding you down, how do you even tackle that?
Well, things are usually linked to one another. So once you fix one, it kind of remedy the majority of it. Like if a person is feeling insignificant, right? They build their confidence up. All those things that affected them, that they made them feel insignificant. Maybe they had abandonment issues. Maybe they had I don't want to say like weight issues. Whatever made you feel insignificant. Once you determine your value or gain your value and then determine it, a lot of those things usually go away. It's usually a core problem that leads to other things. Like for me, I use myself as an example. Like, you know, I said it last night, like, you know, my grandmother raised me. So at first I felt like, you know, my mom and dad didn't want me. And then even when my mom brought me up to Detroit, I felt like abandoned because I ain't around none of my family no more. It's hard for me to make friends. I'm different from everybody. People don't understand me. You know, once I built my self-confidence up, none of that shit mattered. And I understood it all. I was able to look at it without that fog of that insignificance feeling. And I was able to look like, man, my mom and dad was 16 when they had me. Fuck they go do with a kid? No, they did the best they could do. They gave me to my grandmother. And then I look at all the stuff my grandmother instilled in me. I'm like, damn, you know, I wouldn't have been like this or had this knowledge or information at this young age if I didn't. So then you start seeing things in a different perspective. But I wasn't looking at it like that because I just felt insignificant. And then I start looking like, I look at the people like, man, these people who I thought I was trying to be cool with, man, they ain't shit right now. And if I would have still been hanging with them, I wouldn't have been shit neither. You know, you start looking at things different. But that feeling of insignificant out on all those different scenarios or situations. So they ain't really different. They really all stem from the same thing.
Yeah, I posted reposted a short on my wall where this girl is talking about how sometimes you have to leave your family. If you have a really toxic family, sometimes you have to step away.
LD, I
Work out
appreciate
the money, work out the juice. Work out 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 the money, work out the juice.
Shout out to LD the legend. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. So,
LD,
word,
baby.
you dropping this, bro. That's what's up. But yeah, the only thing that truly, like I said, let somebody physically holding you back, and then like even then it's like, okay, just get the hell away from them. You know, that might not be for you. If a person has the power to restrict you from something, you need to go another path. Even if it's family, like whatever it is, that's not your path. It's something that's preventing you. I'm straight. You know, you got to find another way. It's doors that would never open for me, and I'm fine with that. The main doors I need to go through. You know, I can create my own door. That's how I think. You know, some shit, if I ain't created it, ain't mine in the first place. Somebody else's. And if they don't want me to play, then I ain't gonna be mad. I ain't about to complain about it. I go to the store, buy my own ball, and play with myself if I have to. You know, so I don't believe in allowing nobody to hold me back. I mean, I don't believe that. I believe it's always so. You know, if you're in a place like I'm gonna use something extreme, right? Something really extreme. That's like somebody living in a racist town complaining about people being racist. Move the fuck out of there. The fuck is you? Like, I don't know, man. Oh my God, these people, get the hell away from them, bro. Don't go around people who ain't beneficial to you. Just don't.
Yeah.
You can't control what other people do, but you can control what you do. Now, if you sit there and subjugate yourself to some bullshit, you holding you back. It's not them. You participating in their shit. That's what that's reality right there.
People
If I
can
go,
drain you.
yeah, drain you, they go use you, bro. That's what you a battery. And if you allow yourself to be siphoned, that's you. Like my man, I know people who complain about shit, and I'll be like, bro, just move. Just leave. Well, the job, dude, I had this many, fuck how many years you got on the job. They don't appreciate you. Go somewhere where you appreciate it. Don't think everything is the same because it's not, man. I don't went places where I'm like, man, they ain't gonna appreciate me here. Man, they fucking look like when I was a patient transporter, they did not appreciate me. When I went into the anesthesia department, I'm like, man, these people I'm a black kid from the hood. I'm like, these people educated and bougie. Man, I went up there, the motherfuckers love me. I walk in the OR, they be like, what up, though, on the loudspeaker. I'm like, I got these people clowning, but they having fun, they enjoying life. This shit is stressful. Like the medical field, man, that shit. I told my wife the other day, like I be listening, you know, she always vent when she come home. I let her get off her chest. And she's not even in a level. We both worked at a level 1 trauma center. She's not at a level 1 trauma center now. It's more like a suburb at this hospital where well, you know, they help old people who fall and shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have an inpatient at her hospital. They got to ship them out other places. But I be hearing her telling some stories. I'm like, I couldn't go back to it. Honestly, I couldn't. I didn't know how bad that affected me.
What
You know,
stories? Like
like
patient
people
stories?
dying, man. It's
Okay.
it's like people
Not
like
drama
death.
within the coworkers.
Oh
More
no, you had a
the
lot of that shit.
situations.
Oh no, that was. I had to snap a couple times, like in the middle of surgery, like y'all over here beefing over some bullshit, and this person on this table dying. Chill the fuck out and grow up. I'm talking to grown ass people, professionals like this, nurses, doctors. I'm telling them to chill the fuck out. Y'all upset over some bullshit, and there's somebody on the table dying, and I had to tell people that. Like y'all tripping, y'all getting into it over lunch times and shit, and there's people in here dying, man.
But you
People
gotta think
depending.
of.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I interrupted you.
No. Go ahead.
No, that people have to like consider what career they're going to take because they spend a lot of time in their career, and then sometimes it affects you, right? It becomes where you become where you work.
Mhm.
Basically, it can affect you. So you got to take that into consideration. What's the environment? How could it
Yeah.
possibly affect you? How does it affect other people? Do some research before you get into a career or another job situation.
Yeah, you definitely should do that. Like I never thought I went from one extreme to another extreme. I just never thought I'd be working in the hospital, but when I did, it humbled me so much, man. And I appreciated life so much more because like when you see death almost every I'm not gonna say every time I went to work somebody passed away, but when you see death a lot, you realize how short life is and how easy it can end. Like you can be going to the store in a semi truck, lose control, and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen stuff like that. Like how the hell do a semi truck hit a side street? Like you just see some. I seen some of the craziest shit happen. Dude on a phone pole and fell and got impaled anally. Like that shit, wow, bro. Like, what's the odds of you falling on a fucking fence post, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, there's all kinds of jobs where, like, they say, oh, truck driving, you make good money truck driving. But truck drivers, man, the ones that are on the road a lot, if they don't have a family, it's hard to keep a girlfriend, make a wife. If you have a family, you're gonna be away from your family for long periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be on the road by yourself. And I think there's
Right.
health problems that go with that too, like
Yeah.
being seated. And then there's also the risk that you're on the highway, and a lot of accidents happen on the highway.
Appreciate you, LD. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I try to speak power, bro. I don't like. I've been through a lot in life, man, and I don't blame God for nothing. I don't blame nobody for nothing, bro. I accepted everything I've been through, and so now when you hear me talk, bro, I'm gonna talk about empowerment because if I can do it, I know anybody can do it. It's just sometimes we have to have an example, and sometimes we just gotta build that desire or that will within us. But it helps a lot when you see people with examples, and that's another thing. Like working in the hospital, man, I done seen people who fucked up. Like ain't no way in hell you gonna smile, and they smile. It was this quadriplegic lady, and I would never forget her face. And when I was transporting, when I seen her name, I was like, I'll go get her because she just had the most beautiful smile. She's like 50 some years old. I forgot what happened to her, but because she couldn't move her arms or legs. And every time, the first time I went and got her, she just smiled at me. And I'm like, damn, shit. Moved her over, took her down, talking to her and shit. She can't even talk back, you know. She blinked to respond to me. And then when I took her back, they was like, man, we ain't seen her smile in weeks. And she was like a frequent flyer. So almost every day I worked, she had to come down. And like when I heard her story, I'm looking like, I don't know, this lady is just waiting to die. But every time she see me, for some reason, she smile. I don't know why she smiled, but for some reason, every time she see me, man, when she died, that was one of the most saddest days of my life, and I was really fucking hurt because I enjoyed that time because it made me appreciate life because I was going through some shit then. I was trying to get out the street, and like it was hard because it's like I'm used to making $400-500 a day. Now I'm making $800 every 2 weeks transporting patients 8 hours a day. I don't really want to do this shit. But I wanted to change. So, I had to change. So, but that made my job pleasurable, man. Just going, seeing that lady smile. I don't know why. It humbled my life, man. If she can find a way to smile, I can find one. I used to always say that. Like, if she can smile, then I can too. And when she passed away, man, I felt like it was like a big loss, man. That shit hurted so bad. But then after a while, I just kept seeing her smile. Like I didn't even know her. I think I worked with her for like 3 months. Picking her up and yeah, but that shit impact you, man. That job, man. You see babies coming in there on the live, man. I used to get so angry. Like people abusing kids and shit. We doing craniotomies because somebody smashed the kid head into the wall. Now they got a brain bleed. And we got a decompression, get the blood off their brain before it drown it.
Yeah,
And
that's rough.
then you hear, oh, the parents showed up. One day I snapped out. They had to call security to hold me back.
That's
Like,
why
this
that
dude is in
next
the
gen
weight room.
spokesman, you
Like,
could
bro,
say you're reformed, but that hurts.
man,
These are babies. These are toddlers.
I don't see how nobody can
Innocent.
do that, bro. I do not see how anybody can do that. I had a friend who used to abuse his kid, and when me and my other boy found out, um, I ain't gonna speak on that, but yeah, he ain't do it no more. I'm gonna just say it like that. He ain't do that shit no more. His baby mama called me, and I'm like, and then my boy knew, and I'm like, I kind of jacked him up too. You let like these dudes, man. I grew up with dudes, and when you think you know people, but then when you really find out how these people is, man, it's like that lifestyle, that impoverished mindset. Like when we was talking about mindsets, man, it's people. They can have material stuff, they can have money, they can have education, but they have a impoverished mindset. The way they think is poverty. Like they try to get whatever they can in the moment. They don't think about longevity. They don't think about future. Everything's about that's a impoverished mindset. You only can think about the now. That's a impoverished mindset. And putting yourself around people like that, they'll take advantage of you. You're just a tool to them. And when I realized that, man, it's so many people I just had to get away from. I can't be around people like that. It's indecorous to my development. I'm good.
Okay. Craig said, how crushed were you when you started, or when you sorted out that your parents are not perfect?
I was never I didn't feel no type of way. I knew my parents weren't perfect. They had me when they were 16. I never looked at my parents. They just perfect for me. That's what I like to say. I always knew my parents wasn't perfect. They was just perfect for me. You know, my mom and my dad. You know, they made a ton of mistakes. You know, it's stuff that my parents would be like, "Man, I can't believe I exposed you to this or you went through this." I'd be like, "Man, no, I'm straight." You know, they did the best they could. So I never looked at them as perfect. I don't think I ever really looked at anything as perfect.
Mm.
Even
Some
from a
people
kid.
say
My
that.
grandmother used to, but see, I was raised by my grandmother. So like a lot of the shit I say now is from her. Like even
Yeah.
she used to always say, the hell you trying to be perfect for? Ain't nothing perfect. Just do better. She used to always say that. Just do it. Just do it good. It ain't got to be perfect. Just do good. If you do good, it'll turn out great. It'll never be perfect, but it'll be great. The more good you do, the greater it becomes. And my grandma used to always say shit like that. So I never really looked at perfect like thing. Even people, I don't expect no one to be perfect. That's why I always say I accept people for their flaws, long as it ain't detrimental to me. I can accept that. You know, ain't nobody perfect. I don't expect people to be no way or another. I just expect people to be them authentic self. If you're an asshole, I'm fine with that. I know how to interact with assholes. I'm an asshole myself. So I can definitely deal with assholes. Well, let's just not be assholeish towards one another. As long as we can have respect. Like if a person tell me like, man, look, you're getting on my nerves, I'm not gonna push it. I know to chill the fuck out. If anybody ever tell me I'm getting on their nerve, I chill out because I know when I say that shit, it's go something bad gonna happen after that if you keep fucking with me. So I get the same people to respect. So I accept people for their flaws. You know, ain't nobody perfect. I don't expect nobody to be perfect. As long as it isn't detrimental to me and my family, I'm fine with it. But now, if you out here doing some unscrupulous shit and it affects everything and everybody around you, I'm not dealing with you. I'm straight.
I struggle with not people being perfect, but sometimes like people not being like you or not thinking like you, or like, why are they doing that? Like if it was me, like, but people are not gonna be like you, so I had to make do that people are not gonna be making the same choices as you.
I was blessed with the opportunity to travel the world at a young age, so I knew everybody was different. And so I look at that as an opportunity to learn something new. I think if I haven't traveled, like, and I was, kind of, I think I would be like that. But I'm actually intrigued when I see people different from me. Like somebody can be like, "Oh hell, Satan," and I just sit back and watch them. Like, what they mean by that? Like, I won't automatically think it's bad. I'll be interested. Like, now I wouldn't like interact and participate with them, but I would definitely observe them because people may say things that may sound crazy to you, but once you see the ideology, it makes sense. Now you don't even when it makes sense. Like this is what I'm saying. I'm comfortable. Now this gonna sound crazy. I am very comfortable around racist people. I'm comfortable. I'm gonna tell you why. Because most racist people they have insecurity. If you think that you're better than someone because of your skin color and not your deeds, not your character, but just because of your skin color, and you want to hate and destroy people because they have different skin color, that's just an insecurity. I'm just insecurity. So like even having conversations, I made some. It was like we're just working in the hospital. I ran across a lot of fucking racist people, and this is how. And this white dude told me that he was like, you know, he racist. I said, yeah. He was like, how you know? I said because he said I'm not like the other one. Like he wouldn't even call black people people. He said you ain't like the other ones. But dude loved me to fucking even to this day, he loved me to death. He's like, I don't even look at you like you black. I'd be like, bro, you racist as hell. He'd be laughing and shit. I'm comfortable around him. I don't feel inferior to no one. I know my own self-value. So even if a person tried, oh, you black, you this, you stereotype, okay, that's your ignorance. That's it. I just tell you about yourself and I have fun doing it. I enjoy doing it. And a lot of times you I ain't gonna say checkmate people, but some people you would never get, into. But some people I showed them their level of ignorance and they corrected it. Sometimes people are racist it's almost innately because they don't know what else to be. And that's black people too. Like, even when I get around black people and they be like, oh, these white people, I'm like, bro, you really think all white people like that? Like every single white person you met is like that. Yeah, that's your level of ignorance. That's your insecurity. You feel inferior to these people. That's why you attacking all of them. That's why you attacking all. Not all white people ain't the same, just like all black people, all Asian people ain't the same. People be like, well, America and the white man here. Look, man, I understand history and I understand all that. Call the people who the jackets fit, let them wear it. But the people who don't put no jacket on people that don't fit. That ain't fair. I've been stereotyped and I will continue to be stereotyped my whole entire life. And I have accepted that and I understand it, but I'm not going to do it. I will determine everyone on their own merits or their own deeds. That's how I will look at people. Some people, like even when people say stuff out of ignorance, right? Like Ozzy, we had that talk last night when he was like, well, this sound like someone is antagonizing. I'm like, nah, bro, this is just how we talk. When we say this, that's what it meant. He was like, damn, I didn't know that. So somebody heard him say that, they'd be like, oh, he racist. He think because black people say this, nah, bro, he just don't know. He ain't black. How you supposed to know how I talk? Yeah, like how you supposed to know how I talk? No, unless I'm talking around him, he don't know. We all got different dialect, man. Like when we was watching that video, whose man's is this? What is the white version? I wonder what the Mexican version of that is. Like who man's is this? They probably say it too, because Mexicans, y'all kind of black too. Who man's is this, Holmes? SA? They probably say some shit like SA. Who SA is this? I don't know. They probably say some shit like that.
I don't know either.
But I mean, it's just ignorant, and I'm ignorant to things. I hear somebody say something like, "What the fuck that mean?" Oh, okay, my bad. I'm tripping. That's what that means. I don't know. But it's about, are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn another person? And that's the beauty, because I can understand the ideology of another person that I'm not gonna get into that. But the more you understand, the more you can see patterns. I'm gonna say it like that. You can understand patterns. So that's how I can know, like, when some people having good days and some people having bad days. and I can possibly help. You know, I'm not gonna say I can change anybody's mood, but I can definitely add to. You know, if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. If I can't help you, I ain't gonna hurt you. You know, so sometimes when people having bad days, you just need to step back and leave them alone. And then sometimes when people having bad days, they need that shoulder or, you know, that support, you know, and it's even determining that. You know, that's why I always talk about emotional intelligence. It's not only identifying within yourself, but within other people. It's like a superpower, man. I keep telling y'all looking for like X-Men, uh, controlling the storms and making cards explode. Nah, man, we all got superpowers. We just got to lean into them.
Miscommunications, misunderstandings.
All that shit start confrontation, man. Like, simple as shit. They start a whole fight, man, for no reason.
A whole war. Bro, a whole war between countries.
Yeah.
Right? You go to
Hell
another
yeah.
country, something you might think is like, it's normal, it's fine, you didn't do anything wrong. Man, they'll lock you up.
Yeah, people like it was some I think it was in Dubai when that black lady got locked up for twerking in the middle of the street. She was doing a video. She was I guess some type of influencer. She started twerking. Man, they snatched her ass up so quick. Like, you better understand the rules and regulations when you go to these other countries. I just be
Yeah.
trying to chill and sightsee. I don't be trying to do no extra shit. Mm-mm. I ain't doing no extra shit. I ain't gonna talk that much. I don't even do that shit when I go out of state, man. I go sightsee.
I was around Japanese men and they kept walking away from me and I kept trying to walk faster to walk next to them. But like
No,
in
you
their
can't.
culture, they walk in front of the women.
Yeah,
The
they used
faster
to
I
do that
walked, the
too.
faster they walked.
Yeah, they thought you was probably fucking with them. Yeah, like, even like what is that? Is it the Hindus?
I don't
There's
know.
places
What
in
are the Hindus?
India they don't even talk to women that's not of their family.
Oh,
They
okay.
won't even talk to you. Yeah, different cultures. They got different, you know. They live different ways, and you may like if you married, do not take your wife around no Eskimos because they be sharing, and they go expect
Uh-oh.
you to share too. Yeah, don't go to no Eskimos if you married because they go look, but oh, here's my wife. Thank you. I'm gonna take yours for a day.
We Americans talk a lot. We talk a lot compared to some other places.
Yeah,
And
they always
freely. We talk too much.
yeah. Americans disrespectful, man. They real. They. I think Americans are entitled. When you like travel to other countries, Americans are definitely entitled.
Mm-hmm.
Like the freedoms we have, we abuse them and don't appreciate them. We don't take full advantage of them. We tend to abuse them because you go to some of these other countries. I was watching. I forgot. I think they was in the DR, but this lady was sightseeing, and the dude turned around and was like, "You can't record here." She was like, "What did she say?" He said something. She was like, "This ain't America." Bow, and swung on her. I was like, "Damn." Oh my God, he's hitting me. She was like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." Like, yeah, man, you can't go over there recording people. You think you got rights? Nah, bro. You're in a foreign country. They box your ass up and send you out to sea. But chill out. You won't even get a toe tag coming home. We can try to learn, but we more than likely will never have the chance to be in everyone else. Yeah, he ain't gonna be in everybody else's shoes. Yeah, you definitely ain't gonna have. I ain't trying to. Them shoes fit them. I'm straight. I just see how uncomfortable they walking in, and I take you the word for. I take your word on it. Yep, I ain't gonna go experience that. Who was that missing mob? Was like, where would you ever swim with sharks? Hell no, I ain't gonna never. You do it and tell me how it is. I'm gonna experience that through you. I'm good. Hey, them sharks ain't coming in my house. I ain't going in there. I'm
Hiking in
good.
the middle of the jungle.
Nah, I'm straight. My wife was like, "Would you ever do naked in the fridge?" Hell no. What am I be? I ain't trying to be out naked on no desert island or nothing like that. Let alone on TV. I'm good. Mm-mm. You'll be so good at it. No, I won't.
No, I
You know,
won't.
I won't be good at it because I won't go. That's how I won't be
She
good
won't
at it.
let you go when she finds out you gotta lay with a woman to keep warm. Some stranger.
Now her ass will pop up. What y'all doing? Like, how the hell you get here? 3,000 miles away. I Ubered. My wife crazy as hell.
She'd be like, "You better stay cold."
Yeah. She be like, going over to the other island and come back and meet her in the morning. No.
No spooning.
Right.
That's the weird thing about it. They have to spoon. They have to like cozy up to get warm. It's like they have no choice.
Man, I think them people be bored with life while that, so that's why they do that shit. That shit, I don't believe nothing on TV. I think they film a couple shits and then, cause ain't no way in hell. Like I be seeing some of that shit, I be like, man, people
But
be
they
out
get
there.
hurt. They get all the bug bites, all the. But I always think like there's a camera crew, right? They have them a
And
little.
what it
There's a
was
crew.
somebody, yeah, somebody exposed that because they said at night they don't really be sleeping like that. They go into the tents with the camera crew. One of the people exposed that shit.
Ah,
Unless
I
they're
want to
doing a
believe it's
24
real.
hour, unless they're doing a 24-hour live feed, I do not believe that shit. I can't. 'Cause it nah,
Word wants
man.
to see it live, live
Yeah, man.
streaming.
I mean, we live streaming they shit. They can too. So 24 hours. If you don't do that, it ain't reality to me. It ain't real. All that shit
It's
scripted.
kind of
I
gross.
think that I'm
Cause
starting to
where are they
think.
going to the bathroom? How are they wiping? They got no toilet paper.
Yeah, they never showed that. They never showed that. It's
Leaves,
good for
rocks.
TV. A seashell like on Demolition Man. You ever used the three
Seashell.
seashells? You ain't never seen Demolition Man?
No.
They had the three. He went and they got froze. Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone got froze, and when they unthawed them, they was in the future. And he went to the bathroom, and he was like, "Where's the toilet paper?" They was like, "You don't know how to use the three seashells?" Like, what? Shit, I don't know how to use the three seashells, and I ain't been froze. Like, what the hell going on here? Well, everything, yeah, man. I don't, man. Craig, I'll tell you half of the shit I've seen in life, man. I don't assume nothing is real, bro. Nothing that they put on TV is real to me, bro. Like I done been places and then came home and then heard about the place. Like, no, that ain't what was happening. It was something different going on over there. I done
I
seen
used
that.
I used to like watching Alaskan Frontier. They have to like build their own stuff and they eat off the land, grow their things. Like they save everything. They got a little outhouse. They got to get wood, to put in the fire.
Man, all that shit look good, but all of it is edited and taped. It's pre-taped and edited. You can get
Yeah.
all that shit in one day. You can get all that. It'd be like day two. Nah, that really be the same day. They just change clothes. You got all that taped in a week.
But there's people out there that really live like that.
Yeah, it is, and it is people like that. I got a couple. Well, I ain't gonna say that, but yeah, it's people who live like that. People live off grid. Collect their own water, created their own sewage system. You know, there's people who really are self-efficient, where they can take care of themselves. That's what make it intriguing, like these shows like that,
Hmm.
because it's people really doing that and really capable of it.
Like those Alaskan people, they look rough. Like they
Oh,
look
they
rough for
is.
their age because they're out in the sun, in the weather, like
Mm-hmm.
doing things with their hands. They look a lot older. So some of
Yeah.
that's got to be real. Not all, but you know, a portion of it is real. You don't
I
just get
think
like that.
everything, like Mr. Beast, like even his shit been exposed. Like I think drama is what sells. Like back in the day, I believe they was really filming people like that, but now modern time, I don't really think they do that. I think all them people be actors. Like it fucked me up when I seen. I don't know if you ever watched Flavor of Love. I thought it was a real show at first, and then I seen a girl on there I knew. I'm like, hold on, bro, she was just here. And then like I seen her the next day, and I'm like, she was like, oh yeah, we filmed that already. We filmed that like 5 months ago. She told me she won and everything. I'm like, you ain't win. She's like, keep watching the show. And I'm like, well, why you here? I thought you supposed to be. She said it's a show. All the shit fake. I'm like, oh, for
Yeah.
real? I couldn't watch it the same. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
Yeah, like all the people are like actors. Like when they have like
Yeah.
these bar scenes, like all the people at the bar are actors.
It's a model agency here in Michigan called Eye Candy. A lot of those VH1 shows was hiring models from here. One of the DJs was on one of those shows. One of the DJs who used to, she don't DJ no more. She got an OnlyFans page now, but after that, and first she started doing like, but yeah, drama and sex sell, yeah. Some of the best distractors is drama and sex. Best ways to distract people. And as long as you distract them, as long as you keep people distracted, you can keep their attention longer. As long as you keep their attention, that's more beneficial for these companies. Because guess what you ain't doing? Working on yourself. Yeah, no, they don't want you to do that. But then they can't control you. Then they can't control you. Now you control yourself. Like back in the day, we used to take pride in self-mastery. We used to take pride in mastering self. Now, we allow people to dominate us. And they ain't even doing it physically. They don't even need chains or shackles or none of that shit. They don't need that. They just need a little box. Either play music or videos. Give you some lights flashing. That's all you need. And it's all due to how you feel. All about how you feel, man. That's how they manipulate you. It's not to do what you think. They figured it out. They can get you to feel a certain type of way. They can get you to think a certain type of way. And if they can get you to think a certain type of way, they can get you to do certain things. And that's how it works. That's why you have no classes about emotions and education. Even in psychology, they focus more on the mindset or the way the conscious works versus what influences the conscious. What influences the conscious? Your emotion. The way you fucking feel. The way you feel will override any thought you have. Tell me I'm lying. They go JFK my ass. I gotta be quiet. As soon as people start listening to me. Well, since we're an hour and 35 in and Gary went to sleep, I guess I can tell y'all what he said. There's only 3 people in the chat. So when Gary seen my title, for some odd reason, he thought I was going to talk about a power bottom. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is a power bottom? Never mind. I don't want to know. And I still don't want to know. But yeah, Gary thought I was about to talk about power bottoms. I'm like, bro, you really don't know me. What the fuck is a power bottom? Yeah, no, that ain't me, bro. That ain't no conversation I'm about to have ever. You
What's
see
the
how my
title?
pettiness rub off on people?
Take advantage of being at the bottom.
Yeah. Where do you see
Some
power?
people like the bottom. Some people like the top.
Here y'all go.
Where's the middle? I don't know.
These are not the words of word. These are the words of Commander. And Gary.
Gary's got to explain himself.
Yeah, Gary. Why was you? Now, see, since he ain't here, I can be petty. Because now I got to ask questions. Nah, I ain't gonna mess with Gary like that.
Craig said, "Oh my."
Yeah, he thought I talk about some power bottle. Like, no, I don't know. Wide receiver without the football, I'm straight. Literally, no pun intended. I'm just straight. You know, whatever people do with their bottoms, that's them. I'm talking about in society. I'm talking about financially, emotionally, spiritually, or consciously. You know, being at the lowest point. Maybe I got to change the title. You can't even use words no more. Can't even say bottom without people thinking about bottom. A bum. I didn't put take advantage at being on the butt. I didn't put that. I put bottom. And the way that people associate that just shows how deviant our generation is.
Gary's a deviant.
Gary's a deviant, yeah. Gary tried to deviate from the topic. Ground floor. All I hear are songs started from the bottom. Now we hear, hey, that's how. That's how. You know what, man? I'd be looking back at my life, man.
I'll be right back.
When I really look at my life, bro, it's like it can be a movie or it can be a fucking album. Like I've been through. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us can really look at our life like, damn. It can be on Lifetime. It can be on HBO. Your shit might be on Fox. You know, but I'm pretty sure all of us can put our life into a movie. But it amazed me though. Like, and I used to wonder. Like when I was in the lower my lower aspect, I used to wonder like, man, why because I'm telling y'all, man, it's times that I was about to go out with people and I'm like, nah, man, I just didn't feel right. Like, nah, I'm straight. I ain't about to go there. Like, no, man, we deep. We got like 15 of us. No, I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. And then like an hour later, they called me like, such got shot, man. We at the hospital. Like, damn, bro, I told y'all keep y'all ass at home. Don't go. I can't even tell you how many times that happened. Like in my lifetime, there's times where I pulled up to a place and I'm looking like, nah, I'm getting out of here. And then not even 30 minutes later, on the radio, it was New Year's. I think I told the story. On the radio, I heard it was a shooting. Then my cousin called me like, you know, was you trying to, because I called him like I pulled up, you know, I'm about to park and we had come in. I got to stand in this long ass line. But I didn't call him and told him I left. I was like, I'll call him when I get home. Fuck it. And then I hear on the radio it was a shooting. Like we just literally just fucking left. But the radio station was at the club. So they announced that it was a shooting. Then my cousin called, was like, yeah, like 4 people got shot at the door. Where you at? I'm like, man, I went home, bro. Like I went to go park and then said fuck it and went home. Like I'm straight. So like when I was on the bottom, man, I used to wonder like, why am I lucky? I used to think I was lucky. Like I'm lucky, man. Like something looking out for me. Then when I realized like, nah, man, it's just divine, man. And I chose to listen to my gut, man. You get that inner being and it be trying to communicate with it, but the further away from yourself you go, the less you hear it. The more you become in tune with yourself, the clearer that voice inside you become. And it be trying to direct you and guide you. You get around people and you know, you be like, man, I know I ain't supposed to be around him, but I'm gonna give him a chance. You know, he seemed like a good person. But you didn't have that feeling like, nah. And there's been times where I've been around people and I know I wasn't good for them. Even now. It's like some people I go around and I see where they at in their development stage. And I know because of my personality, they won't grow around me. It's sometimes I go around people and I know me being around them, it'll fuck their confidence up. That sounds crazy, don't it? I go around people and I know me being around them, I will fuck their confidence up. So I try not to interact with them as much. Let people, develop.
It's
Some people,
crazy when you have to
yeah,
play down, like you have to play yourself down to people because you know they're gonna be jealous or envious and take it
yeah,
the wrong way.
and take it the wrong way. Yeah, I do. I ain't gonna say I do it a lot. On here, I do because it's fucking internet. So like, people don't really know me and shit. You be talking to somebody today and never talk to them again. So some people I just know I can't. I gotta kind of,
Tone it down
yeah, can't be me around them. They'll be intimidated.
because they'll take everything you say very personal and like in a defensive way. It's like, no,
Yeah,
I'm not. It's not about you.
yeah, like it's not about you. It's more about the information. But they still developing. They still learning and growing. So they think anything you say that oppose them, that you're opposing them. Like, no, I'm just opposing what you're saying because it's wrong. And this is how you correct it. Everybody ain't receptive to constructive or instructive criticism. They look at criticism as destructive. All they can't even comprehend the different forms of criticism. That shit fucked me up. Like just talking to people, and most people, only thing they know is constructive criticism. Right? They're like, well, and then they think constructive criticism is bad because it's criticism. Like, nah, bro, constructive criticism because you never had it. Like, people will give you destructive criticism and call it constructive criticism. Well, I'm just trying to correct you. No, you're trying to destruct them. You're being devilish, and you don't have to. If you're doing like, if I'm giving someone constructive criticism, what you're doing is constructing a right idea from a wrong idea. That's building. Ain't got nothing to do with insulting them. It ain't got nothing to do with you can't tell somebody they stupid and then give them constructive criticism. That's not how it works. You can't tell somebody they doing something wrong without telling them how to do it right. That's not constructive criticism. That's not how it works. So people just fucked up and confused with a lot of these concepts. Like even talking about like I be like I get to talking to somebody and they sound real intelligent, like we having good dialogue. And I tell them I don't believe I know. And then they keep, well, why don't you believe? Believe. I'd be like, bro, you can't comprehend what I'm saying. There's a difference in between believing and knowing something. There's a difference.
Listen, but sometimes even for you, sometimes you'll slip and say believe. And I think for somebody like you who knows, even sometimes you slip into saying believe. So imagine for those other people that aren't
And
even conscious, like they don't even think about
and
that part.
even when I say believe, I do have to catch myself at times, but it's the context of what I'm saying. It's usually me trying to communicate something with somebody. But like when people
Yeah.
ask me about me, nah, I don't never use believe. When they ask me about me, like when I was telling Wildheart, my belief is not a belief; it's known. It's I know.
Yeah.
Only thing he heard is my belief. That's all he heard. And he ran. Well, your belief, not bro. You're not listening to the context of what I'm saying. What you call a belief is not a belief to me. It's known to me. So but when I do like when
But it's
somebody
not a
say
fact to him because he hasn't experienced that. So to him, it's not a fact.
it's not a fact. And that's how life go be with everybody, bro. Like my experience ain't facts to nobody else. And a lot of my experience people can't experience or won't experience. But it's mine. So I know what came out of that experience. So either one or two things, I can tell you about it or I cannot. But people be wanting you to prove things to them. Okay. What do you want me to prove? My relationship with the divine? How you want me to prove it? You want me to call God up? Hold on 1 second. Let me see if he answers. What time is it?
Right.
He might be asleep.
Can you reveal yourself to this
Right.
person and that person?
Like, God, hey, you do me a favor, throw a lightning bolt on this motherfucker right here, just to show you real. Like, do that. Like, come
Hit him
on,
upside the head, please, Lord.
man.
Hey, I posted a 1 minute short in the back chat, and I wanted to ask your opinion on it. If you think it's like selling, I don't know, if it's setting up women for failure.
I had to step away from people who refuse to listen to basic. Yeah. If you can't express yourself around people, man, I can't fuck with people like that. Like, if I see somebody doing something wrong and I know it's like detrimental to them, I'm definitely gonna say something. But it's sometimes I see people, I'm like, okay, yeah, let them bump their head so they can learn. And once they bump
Yeah.
their head, we'll talk about it. But they have to bump their head. Sometimes people just gotta crack their shit against the wall for them to be like, damn, it's a wall. Okay, now let's talk about the wall. Let's talk about this wall. So, nah,
Sometimes I don't feel like getting into it with people, especially if they're stubborn.
Yeah, man. I mean, people, I can't do it. It's a waste of my time, man. I'm 41. I'll be 41 in a couple of days, man. I ain't about to waste my time trying to. I'm straight. Okay, let's see. What is this about? How to
Okay, so
know if he's the one. Okay.
how to know if he is the one, like, to marry. And then she's showing clips of this girl who's pregnant, and the husband's like cooking for her, bringing her flowers, setting up the whole, like, just wonderful husband.
Let's check this out. How to know if he's the one by Commander. I'm just playing. It ain't by Commander.
Not by me.
That's so cute. That's so cute. What the heck? Green flags everywhere. If the boyfriend you're with right now doesn't really seem like he has the qualities of being a great father one day, he is probably also lacking extremely important values of being a good husband. Great fathers, just like great husbands, can't be attached to a video game all day long. They should love you once they are married to you. Quite frankly, like Christ loved the church. If the man you are with would not become a great father one day, pass. Even if, and especially if, you don't want kids right now, still pass on that guy, or wait and see if he gets a little bit better. I was not seriously desiring children when I was dating my husband. I met him and I became a lot more interested in having children, but that was not a deep desire in my heart until after I got married. Pretty quickly after I got married too, praise God. The man you marry also becomes the father to your children. So if he doesn't love you super well, he is not going to love your children very well. And then you're going to be largely on your own, which is every mother's greatest fear. Find a guy like this, that's all.
You'd have to zoom in to see the videos that she was reacting to. Like, I like what she was saying, but you have to zoom in to see the video she's reacting to. And see that the guy is just like waiting hand and foot on the girl and like this fairy tale husband.
And this is when people, this is why I use the term, find someone who complimentary to you, right? I will say this: people should look at people's character more than the outside, like the materialism. I think a good person shows through their deeds, the way they treat you. I would definitely say women should look for men who will not only protect her physically, but emotionally and mentally. You should look for men like that who are willing to provide for you mentally, emotionally, and mentally. I would, and men the same way. Men, I tell men a cheat code, bro. Look, find a woman. If you can find a woman who's willing to protect your peace of mind, peace of sanity. you know, that's ideal for me. I mean, I would definitely invest. I haven't met many women like that. Who, like my wife, I asked her, I said, babe, what's the most important in your job as a wife? She said to protect your peace. That shit almost made me cry. But that's what she do. If my wife see me all mad, she be like, you want some coffee? Why don't you go sit outside for a minute and get yourself together? You know, she give me my space. She don't be all down my throat. Oh, what's wrong? I don't want to hear it. But she know me. She took the time to get to know me. So I don't want to hear all that shit. Just let me work it out. It'll take me a couple minutes and then I'll be fine. I literally will spaz out for like 5-10 minutes and then it'll be over with. I just need that. Just let me work this shit through and I'll be all right. And she give
But
me that.
girls know that. Girls say the peace thing, like even on the pop the balloon and those, they'll say the peace, but it's like, are they? Is it real? Are they just saying what you want to hear? Oh
They
yeah, I
said
bring a
what you
man
want to hear.
peace, because I feel like a lot of them are just saying it. They don't
Listen
even
to
know
the
what
shit
that
that,
means.
like, how you give a man peace when you demanding all this bullshit from him? You think that shit peaceful? No, man.
What
They,
up, Frankie?
Yo, salute, Commander. You hear me?
Yeah.
yeah, I get you, bro. What up, though?
Ain't shit. Yo, if I sound low, let me know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
No, you good.
But yeah, that's that popping balloon shit is to another. It's changing, the standards of going out there, trying, the sport, of trying to find a decent woman. It's always a challenge, right? To go out there and find the one that you think is best. You got to. Sometimes you get bad ones, You might get ones that last long, and then you get ones that you want to keep and you can't have. You know what I mean? But it's a sport, of being a man and going out there and just testing your you know what I mean, your pheromones or whatever it might be. Are you out there in the field? But they take that away. And I think now it's like you standing in there looking at you trying to judge them by face value. You know what I mean? You're looking at them like, oh, shorty, she got the ashy ankle. That one toe got look. That one nail's all crooked. You know what I mean? Like. It gets down to like the littlest things now. It's like insignificant. You know what I mean? It's almost like they're taking away the way it was. The way it's for me, like personally, I'm just saying for me, the way it used to be. You go out there, you charm a woman. You had your little chivalry, or you might do your little, you might have your own little way of persuading it. You know what I mean? Being romantic without simping.
Hey,
Frankie said
we're
What
it's a
you, Craig?
sport.
Okay.
That's me, brother. Hey, I want to chime in on this real quick.
Well, for sure, bro.
If you're entertaining a relationship with somebody and you're not challenging where you're at with where they're headed and what they are expecting or desiring in that relationship from square one, then you don't need to be looking for a relationship with somebody.
That's true.
Does that make sense?
You,
Don't listen to people and don't put people into a box. Not everybody's going to be for you, and you're not going to be for everybody else.
Right.
If you're going to entertain a relationship, you need to know from square one if you guys are headed in the same path. If you're not, then you need to dissolve and move on.
Hey, Craig. Respectfully. Okay. Word. Yeah.
I was about to say when I coach people in relationships, it's three main things that I always ask the couple when they come, if they had these conversations. One is about culture, right? And people think, oh, culture is I'm black and white. No, how you were raised and how you perceive yourself to raise your kids in the future, or how do you perceive yourself moving forward in the future? Do y'all have the same beliefs? Do y'all have, if this happened, how would y'all handle it? Most people don't talk about that. And another thing is what you just said. What is this person's 5-10 year plan? Because the person that you meet today, 5 years from now, they're going to be different. 10 years from now, they're going to be even more different. 10 years from that, they're going to be even more different. So if you don't understand where that person sees themselves going, then I have been in relationships where I was like, okay, I'm in the street. Now that's where they met me, but now I want to go to school. I fell out of relationships because I wanted to go to school and I didn't want to stay in the street. They just thought I was going to be a street dude my whole life.
I
But
just
when I
want
tried
to.
to correct it, it became a problem. So definitely, go ahead, bro.
No, I just wanted to say, like, and what you said makes sense, but sometimes people get into relationships for like 25 years, and then they find out it wasn't for them. It's crazy to say 50 years, right? Like I've seen it happen, and it's crazy, but I feel like people have a purpose, right? It's either to bring you up or down. It might be 2 minutes, or it might be 20 years. You know what I mean? And with relationship wise, it's like you could be you could love somebody but not be in love with somebody. You feel me? If
I
that
do,
makes sense.
and this is where the communication part is deadly important. And I think that if you're in a serious relationship and you're committed to somebody and they're committed to you, and some of those dynamics may change in a relationship, but if you guys are both putting 100% into the relationship, then you're going to get 100% out of it. And there are going to be times where you're going to be in a relationship where somebody can't put 100% in, but that doesn't mean that you stop putting 100% in.
Amen
Right.
to that.
I was
So
about to say, sometimes you feel like you have to compromise a little more, so it'd be like, 60-40 sometimes, but, just being a man doing it, I'm like, fuck, I'm going to take this one. I got it, because it'd be like
and
that sometimes. Sometimes the
when
woman
I
can have the 60,
when I say 100%, that means 100% of all you can do.
Right.
Mhm.
And your 100% for somebody else may only be 30% for them. But you've got to be able to negotiate that and navigate through that. And the only way you can do that is with open communication.
Yeah, is it
That's
worth it?
communication is key. You're 100% right, though. Without that, there's nothing like, because with that, you could tell if someone's lying to you with innocent. Like, if you've been with somebody a long while, like my wife will know me, like, you know what I mean? She knows every nuance, you know what I mean? When you study somebody, we're creatures of habit, So after a while, you become to know somebody real well. You can finish their sentences,
Yeah, and you don't want to entertain being in a relationship with somebody that wants to hike to the top of the Sahara Desert if you're not about being in the sand. You know what I'm saying?
That's some
These
real
are things
shit.
that are vital to whether or not you're going to have a successful relationship.
You fall in love with a skydiver, you scared of heights. Like, what
Right.
the fuck?
That doesn't mean that you can't challenge yourself and try to
Nah,
do
I got
things
you.
that are outside of your zone, but you definitely know where your limits are.
Right.
You know,
But I would say, like, experience gives you that, experience builds the guardrails to show you where you want to go and narrows the path, it gives you like tunnel vision later on. But without experience and just word of mouth, you're always going to get burned by the fire at least a couple of times, you get burnt by the match, and because, you want to see how hot it gets after everybody tells you it's hot, you still want to test
yeah.
the waters, basically.
If you're an aggressive power materialistic person who wants to chase large money, large cars, large houses, and that kind of stuff, then you don't want to date somebody that just wants to be a simple homemaker.
Right.
That's not going to work.
Yeah, it's
They're
two
not going to
different
understand the way that
different
you make
mindsets,
moves
right?
to
Two
be
different
where you're
mindsets.
at. So it's important to know where your zone is and to be in the right zone with the right person.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to say something on that tip because me and my wife was total fucking opposite. She's like a hell of a people person. She's an extrovert, like being around people. I hate that shit. But she brings it out of me. Because of her, I can be around large groups. People used to want to be around me. I'd be like, I don't want to be around people, but now I can be around people. Like sometimes those differences balance you. It makes you, like you said, step up and like she challenges me and I challenge her too. Because I'm aggressive and hard. She not. She's soft. She used to let people run over all the time. She don't do that shit no more. She ain't as aggressive as me, but she don't let people run over her no more.
But that's an element that, and this is something that I said earlier in the chat. She may have things that she thinks are completely blown out of proportion flaws that she might have about herself. And those details may be the things that really please her.
Yeah, that's how it is with her. Yeah, that's
So,
exactly what it is. Things she look at flaws make her beautiful to me, man.
and
Like
the
her
things that are
sweetness,
flaws
her
to you,
humbleness.
the things that are flaws to you may mean the world to her.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the
I'm an
imperfection.
asshole, and yeah, the imperfection make it perfection. Like, cause
That's
I'm an asshole, and she loved
right.
it. She loved me being an asshole. I'm like, oh, she's like, well, you ain't an asshole to me, just everybody else. I'm like, yeah, all right, you don't mind.
But you also know how to communicate with each other to the point where
Oh yeah,
know that if you know you're out of your temperament or your zone, he knows how to read that and to say, maybe I'm not going to say a word to him and just let him have about 10 minutes to himself. Let him
Right.
and that's
regroup and let him do his thing. And then when he's ready, he'll engage.
Yeah.
you know how most
Hey, word,
uh-huh.
real quick though. If you and your wife ever, get separated, whatever, God forbid, for some reason, whatever, right? would y'all still have the same level of friendship, or you think it would just be like a bitter thing? Like,
Oh
would y'all
yeah,
just have the
no,
same,
we'd be friends. We'd definitely be friends because I mean we were friends before we was lovers, so that's our
Yeah,
foundation is friendship. We
I got
built that as
that's
a
some
foundation before
foundation.
we
That's facts. That
yeah
works.
we
I
did
think I
that
would be
before we
friends,
Well,
yeah
not
I
but
not
you,
can't have
everybody,
no
you know. It depends on the situation, how it how it goes down too. Like people, it just it's like a tough
they
situation.
be bitter from the situation. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
can't.
I think my husband would hate me. I think I could be friends and still have love for him, but I really think he would hate me because
I
that's
think
not
that
something he'd want to do.
I
So
think
like
that
basically,
might
Uh,
change over time though too, because I can tell you from my experience, my wife was married to a man for 24 years, and they couldn't even talk to each other on the phone, let alone be in the same room with each other. And then after she was in a relationship with me and things started to change for her, she found a way that she could have those conversations with her ex and not
yeah,
have that bitterness between the two of them.
and
that makes
you
sense.
Hey,
probably
I'm still friends with her ex.
time
She's
heals
been
all
gone for
wounds.
2 years, and I'm still friends with her ex-husband, which I didn't even know before we got together.
It'd be like that, I'm raising some guys' kids. I've raised some guys' kids. Like literally. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. Sometimes you run
yeah
into the guy. He might come by, want to see his kids on one of them Father days, or maybe he might remember one of his kids' birthdays out of 12. And come through for one. And I mean, and then you gotta looking at the dude. You see what he is for what he is. As long as he respects it, it's all respectable. Like I said, everybody has their difference. Like some people who don't have the mental capacity to deal with others, and like I said, compromising is a lot too. When you get into a relationship with somebody, it's not always the way you want it to be. You know what I mean? People don't understand that. People just think I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too, and that's a hard part to understand. And then when you have kids, it becomes a whole nother world now. It's a whole new paradigm. And all rules is out the window. And then when you get married, I would figure is the final stage, right? But I'm just saying the kids is when you're locked in. Like there's no, for me personally, if you have kids, you shouldn't be out there fucking around anyway, personally, because especially if you got daughters, like me, I got a daughter, so I would feel like a scumbag for real, more than anything, you know what I mean? Because my mom raised me better, but
Well, and that
yeah
was one of the discussions I had with my wife, and she was having trouble with her youngest kid. And her biggest hangup with being with me was that if I saw him putting himself into a situation that was bad, I would say something to him, and she would look at me and say, "Why would you do that?" And I said, "Because I have to look out for you. And the way that I look out for you is to make sure that everything in my home is in order. And if he's out of his element, then I feel like it's my responsibility to show him the right way to approach that. I don't have to get all
Yeah,
bent out of shape. I don't have to be angry with him. I don't have to be disrespectful to him. But I can just say, hey, I see this and I think that this is a bad fit for you. Step away from that.
right.
And her kids came to respect me. And not that I was trying to tell them that they were doing things wrong. It's that I would help them find the realities that they needed to have. And she understood that it was important for her mental health for me to be a good role model to her kids. And
Right.
she knew that that was a fit that she needed to have.
See, that's
and
good.
you know what I always respect like stepfathers and just people stepping in that role as a man and a child's wife because I dated up until my wife, almost every girl I dated had kids, and me and the guy was never fucking cool. And I tried my best to be cool with the dude, and it was like, it just never happened. So when I see this shit, I've seen it work out a couple good times. And when I see it, I'd be like, that's awesome because, the program is bigger than the person. And the
Yeah.
program
And
is the,
sometimes it's not about you as an individual. And sometimes it's not about the other parent as an individual. Sometimes it's about the child. What's
Mhm.
best for the child. And that's one of the things that I said to her oldest son. I want you to be in an environment where your parents can all be around your kids when you're having things that are going on in your life without
Yeah.
having uncomfortable feelings. You don't need that. Your kids don't need that. And to this day,
Wow.
you know, we still have a tight relationship with those kids.
When that would be a fucked up feeling when a kid feel like they got to choose between the person that's raising them and their biological. You know, when they having like graduation and shit like that. That gotta be a fucked up feeling.
They be the parents that weaponize that situation too. You'd be surprised, you know, be the baby mothers. You know what I mean? That type of energy. They be like, you know what I mean? Look, you know what I mean? Look what Johnny did. You know, Jay didn't do this. You know what I mean? All type of funny little comments that build up within time. You know, just shit like, you know, and it might not even be purposely, but he takes you out of Disneyland. You know, her baby daddy been with her 7 years, never took her nowhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, she with him 2 years. Y'all going to Disneyland, you know, next week. Like shit like that, you know what I mean? It's the lasting impression, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I don't want to say yeah, but you know, this nigga kind of bribed me, you know. And you know, that's a good thing, Craig. Craig, real quick, what you were saying, you know, you gave them clarity on their perspective, right? Because perception is eternal, right? Am I right?
Yeah, and this is the other side of that too.
You still let them have their mental compass, you know, whatever they feel is right or wrong, but you clear the sight for them, for their optics to be, to, you know, to take it in the right way, because, you know, there's a lot of clouded and white noise going around with this, you know, with this information we taking in our eyes, you know.
And you know, the other side of that too is the fact that since I was 12 years old, I worked. And you know, it was one of the conversations that I had with my wife, because our youngest child was going through some things, and her comment to me was that I didn't understand his situation. And my comment back to her was, I don't understand it, but I'm trying to reach to the middle to bridge that gap for him, to help him, because all I've ever known how to do was to dig my way out of a situation and work for it, earn my way. You know, when you hit the wall, the only way to get around the wall was to either go around it, go under it, or go over it. But you couldn't just stay at the wall,
right?
Because you would get nowhere.
I could relate. You know, I got an autistic son, nonverbal. You know, and my daughter, when I had her, you know, everything was perfect. It was just like, you know, I mean, I don't believe in perfection, but it was God given. You know, I felt great. You know, my son, I didn't really understand, but everything was going so fast. You know, so you know, I just got a lot of things to me was going wrong. You know, I just didn't feel it. It wasn't like, you know, when you feel in sync. Like my daughter, I felt in sync. I don't know why. I felt like the Most High was in the room with us. You know, but my son, it felt like it was just too much. It just felt weird. You know, I'm a metaphorical person, but it just felt like too much. You know, institutionalized. I don't know how to say it, like without being crazy, but yeah, it was something like, it was just like, you know, every shady doctors, all type of weird shit. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
It does. I went through all that stuff.
And
challenges.
Yeah, and my son, you know, being nonverbal, coming out autistic, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, he had a lot of problems with the food. He was colicky. They were changing his, the Enfamil and Similac. You know, he had a little recall on a couple of them because of the heavy metals inside of them, you know, which mess with the kids' brains and all that. So a lot of shit I went through. And with my wife, I had to really go back and be to square one with her. Like, so I had my daughter, everything was good. We started learning each other. We was comfortable. And then with my son, we literally was like castaway. You feel me? It was me, her, and him. And we had to troubleshoot and try to get a language and make him understand how to tell us where it hurts. You know what I mean? And all the littlest things that would be like so simple for a regular baby to, you know what I mean? You see a baby holding,
you know,
the brain is wired different. So it was like it was a whole beginning. And that's why I say life is crazy, because you might think you got it all figured out, and you know, you really don't, you know.
The medium with that would be your daughter, because children
100%.
communicate with each other. And you could focus that energy to bridge that gap with your son through your daughter, because the children will communicate with each other, and they do it on a different plane.
Well, the thing is, when they from 1 to 7 is when their brain is really like being a sponge. And my daughter was like probably 4 or 5, and then my son was born. So it was kind of like it was crazy. So, you know, and then it would come to that point. My daughter was like the princess all the time, and then it felt like, you know, she kind of felt like favoritism was being pushed to my son. So I had to explain to her what her situation was and all that, and break it down. But, you know, it takes time, you know. So it was always a thing. Like, she would be like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You do this for him, you baby him. And I'm like, it's hard for me to understand it. Like, you know, I understand it's hard for me to explain it to her, or to articulate to her where she gets it. You know what I'm saying? Without being like, because when you talk medical terms and all that shit to a kid, that don't mean nothing. They're like, whatever. You feel me?
I do.
But Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was
and
tough.
and I would challenge what you said about being between the age of 4 and 7 being the most aggressive learning period. I would say
Well,
from birth to
yeah.
3, a
Wow, okay.
child learns on the fastest scale between the age of birth and 3.
But you would be more cognitive after 3 to 7, I would say. Like I don't remember when I was like 2,
True,
only
but
through pictures.
you
Mm.
learn more at that
I would understand what you mean. Like you get an internal sense, you like a perception of what life is what's going on around you, breathing. You know, there's people around you walking by, arms, legs, fingers. Like I guess that part, right?
all of it, even
You walking before 3. So
The,
yeah, you're right.
the mimicking aspect
Right.
is
No, you're
high
100% right.
at
Babies are
birth
talking
to
now.
3.
Yeah,
They
you're
mimic
right.
everything, but would they, like when you saying the cognitive understanding, the development age is from 5 to 7.
I was just laughing because of the
That's
terrible tools.
well, and this is
nah.
the other side of that though, is that they learn what the normal environment that they're in is.
Right. They're adapting.
So
They're
then when
adapting. Yeah.
things change, that triggers them. If they're used to being in a constant situation where people are screaming and yelling at each other and stuff's getting broken all the time, then that's normal. But when that stops, then they feel out of place.
Wow. That is so
So
deep.
Bro, that's what.
That is fucking deep. That was a bar. Where you always said, right? Jesus Christ. That is so many people's lives, and it's tough when you just said that. It just narrowed it down to those little bit of words, but it's true. They so used to hearing all this noise all their life that when they finally get quiet, they don't even know how to act. You know what I mean? That should drive them
they
crazy.
can't function. And
Right. Right.
So, and that's why I said with your son, even if he's not in that toddler age anymore, you can still grow and learn and communicate with him through your daughter.
Yeah, we've
At any age.
reached a lot of milestones with him. I'm grateful and humble for that. Like I've actually we exceeded that, but we keep it where it's at, and we're grateful because there's no telling what can happen as they get older. They're more stronger. Their mind changes. They start watching different things. They're into different things. You know what I mean? So with him, it's like, but like right now, I'll give you an example real quick. Sorry, Craig, to cut you off, but I was just in my zone. But my son wants to play this game, and it's almost like Call of Duty. He's 7 years old. He's autistic, though, mind you, right? My son is so a savant that he draws vintage cars, right? And in school, he was drawing a BMW that had the Nazi symbol. And the school had contacted me. And I was about to get into shit. Listen to me, right? And I went back on his he got a Kind Master. My son edits. He probably doesn't even understand what the words really go, but he knows what they mean, what they do for actions. He edits on Kind Master videos, like WV videos. He'll grab a bunch of Looney Tune characters and make them run into a crowd and crash into each other, make noises. He's real good at it. But he did that, and the teacher saw it, and they made this big thing, and I had to show them, like, yo, I his mind is so, like, he wants to learn about a Volvo. He wants to learn everything about a Volvo. I take him to like Rite Aid or Walgreens and buy those little steel cars, the cars that they sell. Oh, bro, he names them 1932 Chevy Camaro, like convertible. You know what I mean? 1932 Ford. You know what I mean? Like, bro, it's amazing. It's so amazing, and that's some
He's
savant
only
shit.
7.
He's only 7. He don't even speak perfect sentences, but he could tell you. He can show you 1939 on TV. I swear to God, and be on point with it. He surprises many a time. I thought he was just guessing. I'm like, nah, he probably heard it. And I look at the bottom of the car and on the name.
Right.
Bro, he's into Hot Wheels like a mom right now. Hot Wheels is his thing, boy.
Don't let him play the Call
Say
of Duty.
that again.
Don't let him play the Call of Duty. And put him in
Yeah,
the
but that's what I
Minecraft.
mean, though. I was kind of, because that's the way these kids are now. They're into that gaming thing. He's played game online. Like he played the Running from the Railroad. You ever played what's that, like Temple Run and those type of games? So they kind of incorporate later on with fucking zombies now. You know what I mean? And now he's running from zombies that chew his arms off if you don't make it to the. So it's hard to kind of like how can I say it, filter everything. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are slick now with the advertising.
They are slick, and
yeah, they're sneaky.
At 7 years old, that kind of gameplay is not for him.
Yeah, it's tough.
What I would tell you is, even if you're not good at it, play the games with him. Sit down and play some Minecraft with him.
Right. No, he's good. Yeah, you're right.
Where
All
he
that
can be creative and he can step into his zone. And even if you're not comfortable being in the game at that level, do it with him, because you'll reach that bond with him. Even if you're terrible at it, you'll have a bond with him doing it.
That's how we built our language, though. I like, here, Dad, come here, sit here, watch this, and I have to, and I participate. But I get into it because I'm picking his brain too. I see what stimulates him. So it's like a challenge for me too, you know. But yeah, with him, he's like with Play-Doh. Play-Doh is his shit, right? And no lie, like if he sees something on YouTube, he'll pause it, and then he'll just be sitting there, right? And the next, you come back, like, I got mad videos and pictures. He'll do whatever's on YouTube. Like, just for instance, you see the words Avatar. I know that should sound crazy, but he'll take Play-Doh and all those colors and start to put the words Avatar out like that in Play-Doh and try to put the eye in it, the face, and all that. We're like creative. Like, he'll be there for 20 minutes quiet. You won't even know he's doing it. And you come back and you see that whole Avatar and Play-Doh, bro. I'm like,
my grandsons went through a phase of Play-Doh, and my daughter-in-law called me and she said, they really want Play-Doh, but we can't afford to buy it. That stuff's expensive. And I sent her a YouTube video on how to make homemade Play-Doh.
Wow, you need to give me
it
that.
Literally
shit.
only cost her it only cost her about 75 cents to make a whole batch of Play-Doh, and then they use a food coloring. And the older kids helped her with making the different colors.
I never heard of that.
And
Never heard of make Play-Doh. I see these kids.
Bro, I've never had Play-Doh unless we can afford it. My grandma used to always make that shit.
Get the fuck out of here. For real? I never heard of that. That's crazy.
Always had homemade Play-Doh. I never had until I moved with my mom. I never had real Play-Doh.
How do you make it? Or what the hell are the ingredients? Like flour?
Flour, water, and a couple other things. So basic that it's unreal.
Wow.
Yeah, you got to keep it. The only thing is you just keep it moist. You keep it. That's better than the Play-Doh because you don't want to get hard, bro. You can soften it back up, bro. Yeah. And that shit, like when it get hard, bro, you can make we used to make Christmas ornaments out of it and shit.
Right.
Yep.
Like when you get hard, it'll solidify. Well, you bake it. We used to bake it on parchment.
These new age kids are all into slime now. Like if you haven't seen the market of toys, everything is slime.
Make that too.
They just my daughter's a master at that shit. She makes it with colors, flavors. The shit could, I mean, she could put the flag in if you want. You pay the right price. She's a slime master.
Pay the right price.
Yeah, she's a slime master. Trust me, these kids are good now, bro.
She's hustling slime.
Dude, I tell my daughter, let's hustle necklaces, man. She's like, nah, I don't want to do that. Next thing you know, I see her, she got a box of necklaces on the low. I'm like, look at you. Think you see, like, so as long as you know supply and demand, you can never go wrong. You know what I mean?
My two youngest grandsons are all about being outdoors. If it's 5 degrees outside and they can get out the door in their underwear, first thing in the morning they're out the door.
I don't know about the underwear part, but that's dope that they like to be outside because I want my kids to be ready for that kind of environment too. Like trained to be in the wilderness or outside, period, in the forest or something, the woods.
My son goes to work at 3 o'clock in the morning and he gets home about 3:30 in the afternoon. And they want him in the boat fishing from 3 in the afternoon till dusk.
Jesus Christ! What kind of boat?
It's just a John boat, with a trolling motor on it.
Yeah.
But they live right close to a lake.
Yeah,
and the minute he gets home, they're like, "Dad, we got to go fishing. Dad, we got to go fishing." And it's so hard for him to tell them no sometimes.
Right.
That he'll just go just because they want to be in that zone with him.
Yeah, they catch that first fish with him. Forget about it. Dad, I got it. You and your son fighting it in, bringing it in. That's a great feeling.
Bro, I tell you, I bought my son a telescope when he was 4. He loved being outside looking up. He told his mama, like, "Oh, I can see the Big Dipper." She like, "How you know?" I'm like, "Oh, because I showed him." And then I bought him a microscope not too long ago. So now he just picking shit out of the
out of the carpet
outside. My son is outside, so he picked different. We'll be walking, and he'll see a different type of grass. He got a construction paper with 4 different types of grass, and he looked at it in the microscope. And I'm trying to teach him about like chloroplast and shit like that, but he ain't comprehending that yet. But
it's
dandelions and shit, and looking at the inside. So, yeah.
And all of that goes back to the conversation I jumped up here to talk about, is knowing what your goals are before you get into a relationship. Because everything could change what that directive is. You might be headed in one direction and you have a child that has a different need, and that might make you do a 90-degree turn and go in a whole new different direction.
Unfortunately. Unfortunate death can
Yeah.
make everything you thought that was important become insignificant. You know what I mean? Like, it's superficial now. Like, you know, that shit messes life up sometimes. You know, like you won't be ready for those kind of big bumps in the road. You know, people think, oh, it's just sweet. Something like that sneaks up on you is tough. You know, man. Especially if you're already having an argument or been fighting for a couple weeks. You know, shit's been going sour. It's crazy.
Props to you, Frankie, because I've heard the statistics are high for like families with autistic kids that where marriages break up because of it's too
Yeah.
much.
That's why I don't get married. I've been with my wife 21 years, but we don't. You know what I mean? We can't understand it. She wants to do the marriage thing, but we've been together. You know, it's like we together. As long as my faithfulness to you, that should be my loyalty. That's my ring. You know what I mean? But marriage is a big thing. Like I don't know. Like I said, it's once you have a kid is one thing, and then like marriage is like a whole nother. You know, that's like I don't even
You
know. How to
challenge
explain.
yourself though.
Yeah, it's like a real challenge because now you
Challenge yourself. Sit down and write down the pros and cons to what you're thinking about. Challenge yourself
right.
because
Yeah,
you
I
may
was.
find it your thought process may not be what you really want.
I'll tell you this, bro. I'll be honest. Like I didn't live with my wife until we got married, but it ain't shit changed, bro. Just her last name and I live in a house, but you doing all that already. Ain't shit
Yeah,
gonna change but the last name unless you want it to. But
yeah.
like when
And even
people
if you
think you get
file a
married,
joint,
shit change. No, man, that shit. You file joint on your taxes. No, I mean everything the same. Bro. That shit
that's
ain't.
legal
People
marriage.
be
So if you file a joint tax return, you're legally married. Period.
yeah.
No,
And
20 years, don't get married. You guys have been together 20 years.
Why not? Might as well. Shit. Where y'all going? This is the thing though. Like
the
say
older you do it, I
this
mean,
is, no, I'm gonna tell you this. Now this is because I used to call like real estate. I used to think like that, but real estate. Say it's the house in Frankie name, right? And he passed away. That shit don't go to her automatically.
no, it doesn't.
But
It,
You
even
know
like
what I'm
you do
saying?
a trust, you don't have to be married to have a trust and put something in your friends or your brother's name. Or you don't have to be married
that's a
to put
Yeah,
them
dangerous
on
do a
a
hill to be
trust.
on
title.
because look at
If something happened to Frankie, legally she ain't got no say. If they pull
she
the
doesn't
plug
have
and
a
keep
right
the
to.
plug,
She has
she
Do
no
you
ain't
right
got
guys
the
to
right
have
to
Social
common
shit.
law
Security.
marriage in your
No,
state?
nope. She doesn't have a right to his Social Security. She doesn't have a right to his pension. She
Yeah,
doesn't have
she
the
ain't got
right
right to
to
none
his
of that
life
shit.
insurance. She had no rights to none of that.
Yeah,
Not even the
I
vehicle
mean,
title. That's something you need to really sit down and evaluate, Frankie. That's something that you need
yeah.
to.
I've just heard bad things. Like people together for so long and then they get married and then shit goes south.
Yeah.
That's because they look at
It's
it
like,
different. They look
why?
at it. I mean,
Yeah, I
ain't
guess.
ain't shit
Well,
really changed from from the time I got married till now. Ain't shit changed, man.
it's kind of like a big thing though. You can't say people just think it's different. Like you got to get, like if you want to do a standard wedding, you want to get a family together. It's a lot, man. You know that shit costs just as much as a funeral. You know what I'm saying? Probably more.
Yeah,
Just go to the
Let me
okay.
courthouse.
tell you this. Let me tell you this,
Yeah.
Frankie. You could do that on a balanced budget. My wife and I got
Mm-hmm.
married for less than $5,000, and it blew my brother's $30,000 wedding out of the water.
Wow. Yeah.
Bro, I
I'm pretty
went to
sure.
a wedding. I went to a wedding. My homeboy got married for like $7 grand. I paid 50. It wasn't nicer than mine, but shit, they happy.
50 is
They
crazy.
was able to get a bigger house, bro. That shit
Yeah.
was, man. My fucking wedding was nuts, bro.
Instead of having
Huh?
like a big wedding, just a nice house, family and shit.
But like I
So,
said, I'm not going to try to sway you one way or the other, but just challenge you to sit down and challenge yourself.
I'm
And
gonna sway you. That girl done dealt with your ass for 20 years. Give her a ring. Shit, tell her
yeah.
I said that.
Yeah.
For 20 years, man. Put a damn ring on
something
her.
happens to
Something
you
like
tomorrow, think
That's
about
but
about what's going to happen.
that's a dichotomy in my mind, right? Because sometimes I'm two different people at the same time, which is crazy to say. But they say you can't be in two places at the same time, and we find out you can astral project, right? You can remote view, you can dream and be in another consciousness at the same time with your body's still here. But I mean, sometimes I wake up on that side too. So she can't. So can she. So you know what I mean? We can
Mhm.
have that chemical imbalance sometimes, and it's just because of and it'd be like shit like sleeping south and north. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, with your head face. You know how they say you woke up on the wrong side of the bed? Like that shit is really true. Like there's science to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know people say that's crazy, but if you look it up, there's a science to it. Like literally, it's crazy.
All I could say, Frankie, is give her flowers.
I definitely, listen, man. You know what? And that's what
She's
I said,
giving
Craig.
you kids. She's giving you a life. She's giving you a home.
Thank you.
Give her flowers.
I'm very humble. I was raised by my mother. I never had a father in my life, so trust me, I appreciate and I understand the value of what a woman can do and what she, she can be mother and father without the father. Like I said, I was the oldest, so I've been through it with my mom. So I treat, and they say men tend to find a woman who reminds them of their mother in a way, and with the characteristics, right? Like if your mom was motivated, if your mom was a home tenant, she takes care of it, everything. You would want to find a wife that kind of does that, emulates that same kind of thing, right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
So that's kind of what I feel it, but like you said, sometimes it's the opposite things too that make it more spontaneous and it keeps the relationship spunky. So you know what I mean? It's almost like, yeah, we're similar too. You kind of do everything that I thought you were gonna do, but at the same time you're not. You know what I'm saying? It's duality, right? Like sometimes it's you get the
Well,
good with the bad.
that's what I think it's important for you to invest into your own mind and to challenge your thinking process on that.
I mean, if you're miserable,
I'm kind of messed up, Craig. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm like a conspiracy theorist, right? So I started before I met her like that, and I've been through a lot of bad rabbit holes, man. So without, like I said, my mind is tainted with no funny stuff. I mean, but my mind has been, it's just I've drank the juice because I wanted to see what happens. Let's say that, you know what I mean, just to see how it goes. And I don't mean that like literally. I'm just saying in a metaphorical sense. Like I've been down, just to see how far this shit goes. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck is reality? You know what I mean? It was these all atoms that I'm looking at with 99% empty space, or was this thing divine design? You know what I mean? That type of shit.
You're around good company, because the one thing I can tell you without any kind of doubt whatsoever, you could say something to the word and he will always be straight with you, period.
Yeah, that's my day one A1, man. I ain't gonna lie,
Frankie
Right, let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Frank. Right, when you think about marriage, right, what is the first thing you think about? Is it reasons it can work or reasons it won't work?
Or marriage or merit?
Being married to your girl, like, is the first thoughts of why things wouldn't work or why things would work.
And what do I say? Repeat the question because you muffled a little bit. Muffled.
Oh, hold on, I'm in the house.
What do you think of when you think about marriage? What do you think of first? The things that don't work, or the things that do work?
All right, so let me just give you a quick, easy way to put it. Right, I grew up in an era, and probably so the word probably Craig too. Married with children. You know what I mean? Like in that type of like, you know what I mean? It was a whole different kind of the way the house was ran. The man was, and I understand it. I can, but women don't have no say. So, and it was a whole tight. So you have to kind of unlearn and relearn again. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't right. But conditioning is crazy. Sometimes I think I just don't feel like it's gonna change anything, right? I don't, in my opinion, that's just mine, and I'm not right. I'm just saying that's my opinion. It's not gonna change anything. The love is there.
Yeah.
What else would you have? Like, does the love go up more, like 70% more if it's already at 100? You know what I mean? And I know it's love because you know why you know it's love, because the pain feels the same way. You feel me? That's how I know it's love. No one can tell me nothing about that, and that's my personal experience, right? Because that's the highest level of understanding. So there's a thin line between love and hate. So when that pain feels the same way, then it's true. That shit's genuine. You know what I mean? When that person can still make you, break character, or get that pot boiling, boy, that's a good thing. You feel me?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Keep you on your toes, man. Trust me. But I don't feel like a ring is gonna really, and that's just my opinion. I'm not saying, I understand every person won't, that's like a standard thing, but I just don't feel like it'll change anything after 21 years, bro.
I think I'm gonna assume that Frankie thinks about all the things. The things that can, the things that can't. I feel like he would be the type of person to analyze everything and round and round.
And this is where I want to put a bit of 2 cents in worth. To men, things are logical. Either it's on or off. It's black or white. It's either there or it isn't there. Women's minds are not constructed to think like that. Women tend to do things a lot more out of emotion. Men don't think with emotion. They do things with emotion, but they don't make decisions based upon emotion. Women tend to.
I could argue against and say that there's a hybrid of men, you know, certain kind of like cut a cloth, different cut, you know, where they almost
There
empaths.
is.
They say that they're soft or they're feminine, but they're
That's
empaths.
not.
They understand. They know how to tap into you know, into their emotional side more, and they're not, you know, with logic and emotion. You know what I mean? You get great understanding. You know.
That's how I am. But I'm gonna have to
And I
disagree
think that
with
that's
you.
why men and
No,
women are designed to be together, is because of that mesh of being
Right.
able to
Each other in. Yeah.
you make each
to
other whole.
understand both sides of that through your partner is important.
And Commander, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I know for a fact when Frankie think about marriage is why it won't work because that's why he's not married, and that's
Right.
not nothing wrong. I'm not saying that's wrong. And like you said, it's been working for them for 20 years, so I can understand why
Yeah.
he like
That's why I vote no. But I mean,
Nay. I vote
my
nay.
vote doesn't matter. I'm just voting.
no
There's no
that's
vote
why I asked
taken.
him that. But see, that's why I asked him that question because if the first thing you think about why it wouldn't work, then and it's been working, why fix something that ain't broke?
Yeah. Why you
That's
fix
why I
that?
asked,
Yeah.
Right.
honestly, that's why I asked. Marriage ain't for everybody, bro. You know, everybody got different paths going to the same place, and if him and his girl get there with the way they doing it, then they get there. Like you said, there's other way. I will tell you this though, bro. When y'all start accumulating things, go get a fucking trust, bro. That's how you protect her without that paperwork. Is through that trust. I will start looking into that.
100%. You know, and that's what I'm saying is, you know, if something happens to you and she doesn't have that legal title as being your wife, it
Oh,
can
I
go sideways so bad.
You
I
ain't getting,
understand benefits of it. Trust me, I totally understand. Not benefits. That's a bad choice of word, but I understand what comes with it. You know what I mean? Where you know that kind of like solidifies a lot. You know.
Well,
and,
and it's the last
and
thing you want
even
to do is leave her in a situation where she's hopeless.
Right.
yeah,
God forbid. You're
and
right.
then even with the hospital thing, just go make her your power of attorney. So if you can't make a decision, she can make it for you.
Okay.
You know, so it's ways that you can get them same benefits without being married. You know what I'm saying? You go get that
Maybe
trust.
with
Yeah.
You go get that.
everything with the exception of Social Security. Social Security is going to be a stickler.
That'll go to his kids, though. So that'll be
Maybe, maybe not.
Oh no, definitely that'll go to
No,
the
it'll
kids.
go to his kids, but it would go
Yeah.
to the wife and the kids if he was married.
Yeah, it'll go through the wife to the kids, but if he's not married, it'll go straight to the kids. But if they're young, then it'll go to the child.
But what I'm saying though is the kids might be eligible for it, but she may not be eligible for it, and it may cut the kids short because she's not getting the benefits that she needs to take care of them.
Well, she won't get the benefits. So like,
Right,
That's
and that's what I'm
weird.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she won't get like no health benefits or nothing like that. But the kids,
Right.
kids, I don't even think they get. I don't know if they get the benefits.
And
What
even
Craig is
like
saying is what affects her affects the kids.
it does,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
even with the pension, like when my wife died, she was fully invested in 2 pensions, and the pensions couldn't be given to her kids.
Yeah.
They have to be given to me, and I can only get that when she would reach the age of retirement.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they'll pay me her monthly payment on those pensions, which then I have to turn around and put into my investment account and let that mature for the kids because I can't give it to them. And this is the worst part of it. So
You gotta pay that. So
with the retirement and the health insurance and the life insurance and all that stuff, if something happens to you and you die, that's considered income, and taxes have to be paid on that.
That's
I was just
crazy.
saying that tax is gonna be paid on this shit. Ain't gonna pay fucking tax.
Hey, real quick, Craig, where are you from, Craig? You
I
don't have to
live
say
in
exactly. Yeah. Oh, Kansas.
Yep.
Yeah, Craig punch bulls, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you country? You got to be like a farmer, something like that. You do agriculture, botany.
I
What
do
you
have
do?
2 farms. I have a farm in Kansas and a farm in Oklahoma.
I can hear it in you, bro. You sound like the stereotypical farmer. Not to be funny, but you just sound like that strong, like boy. You know, like you y'all tip cows when y'all was young, all type of crazy shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
shout out to
punched
you,
the bull
man.
and I
It's all,
punched the horse.
yeah,
So
I watched this guy. I watched this guy on YouTube. He's a funny guy. He got 2 bulls. I did not understand the size what a real bull standing next
Oh,
to
them
us.
motherfuckers big.
Hey,
Fuck,
yo,
bro.
man, listen to me, bro. And he gives the bulls cream pies. That's like that's their treats, right? And he got 2 of them. One big brown red hair with the white bottom, and he calls him like Benji or something. And he got another one that's still young bull, right? The young bull be trying to like chase him, but you could see it's funny because he stands there and he's like, joking with them, but he's standing behind a tree. Like every scene, there's something in front of him. You know what I mean? Like you realize, like,
Oh,
oh,
I see it.
you know what I'm talking about? It's a white guy, big heavy set
He
dude. He
called,
gives him,
he called the older bull over because the young bull was
yeah,
fucking with him.
yes,
He called,
yes.
yeah, I've seen that shit.
That was dope.
So this is the problem with animals that they don't realize how big they are. So you take a bull, and even just an average bull that weighs, a ton, 2,000 pounds or more, and they think that they're rubbing against you just being playful. The amount of force that the animal can exert, and they don't even realize it. So
Yeah,
I got
That's how
through
men
my
be
fucking
too.
Mustang.
dude, come on, this is so big. You don't
think
understand. Like,
about that in context with your wife.
imagine getting headbutted by a horse. Like you just kind of pet the horse and he just headbutts you. Like the size of their
I
skull.
punched the horse, dude.
Listen to what I'm saying. I got through by a Mustang. The motherfucker threw me right into my leg and stuck in the barbed wire fence. That damn thing fucked me up. Now I screamed. That shit. Like that motherfucker lifted his head. Next thing I know, you remember how Uncle Phil used to throw jazz off the mansion?
Yeah.
Bro, I went flying and shit, bro. Like what the fuck? It was
It's
like pet the horse. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's something
That
about a
motherfucker
horse.
went down.
Yeah, I don't trust them. The eye, when you look into a horse's eye, it just looks like it's something about it. I don't know what to say. It's just weird, man. It's like, and then they on the side of their head, it's just creepy to me, man. Something about a horse's eyes. Looking at shit is like looking into a glass ball or something.
But and this is what even with men and women, a man can be so much stronger and more of a brute than what they realize. So you have to kind of know your zone a little bit.
Right.
My wife and I got into an argument one time, and she was yelling at me, and she was mad at me to the point where she wanted to hit me. And it was a conversation that no matter what I said to her, there was no way that I was going to be right in any of the conversation. And I looked at her and I said, "Are you done?" And she said, "No, I'm mad." And I grabbed her by her biceps and I picked her up and I spun her around, set her back down on the floor, and turned around and walked out of the bedroom door. And she looked at me and she said, "Where are you going? I'm not done yelling at you." And I said, "I'm done. There's nothing that we're going to say to each other right now that's going to fix this situation."
Yeah.
So rather than have all this flare up and be in our face, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to cool off. We'll come back and we'll talk about this.
Walk away. Leave the house if you have to.
You're a strong man, Craig. I would have rented the wood chipper.
That infuriated her at the point in time when she was so angry at me, she couldn't rationalize having a conversation about it.
Yeah, I've been there though. Trust me, it's like it's like you can't. There's nothing you can do. Your presence alone just makes it more infuriating.
And let me tell you, the backdrop to this is that her son called me and told me that they had a baby. And he didn't call her and tell her first.
Wow. Those sound like the ones, yeah.
She was at the point of divorce over that.
Jeez.
And I just
Bro.
there's nothing I can say to you that's going to fix that.
Yeah, it's not even your fault. It's not even your fault.
I'm just blessed. I haven't had no. I've been with my wife for 13 years now. We ain't had no one dispute where it really got heated. Like where it really got. I remember one time she yelled at me. I let her finish yelling, and I'm like, "You done?" She like, "Yeah, I said what I had to say." I'm like, "The hell are you yelling at?" And she was like, "My bad." That whole move was like, you know, what she did. I'm like, "Who the fuck is you yelling at?" Like, well, did you hear what I heard? Everything you said. He was yelling. Of course I heard. I ain't deaf, but I'm asking you, like, when do you start talking like that to me? She like, my bad. Yeah, I mean, what she said at valid point. She was
She probably
just
felt
down because
guilty.
she did, but when this all happened to me, she just wasn't accustomed. She never seen me like beat myself down. She never seen that, and that's what I was doing when I first lost my sight. It was like I didn't want to live. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like when I started thinking about how my life was gonna change, I'm like, I'm straight, bro. This ain't living. Can't live like that. I'm good. And then she just got in my head. Like, you ain't never been a weak motherfucker, and now you weak. What the fuck is wrong? Who the fuck got married? I'm like, I was sitting there listen, like, who the fuck are you talking to? She's like, well, I guess she snapped out of it. Like, fuck out of here, man.
Well,
She was
and
trying to get you to snap out of it.
No, she was really mad. I've never seen her upset. She was real. She wasn't even thinking. She, I, I'm not gonna say that was her goal to get me. Like she did it, but that was like a byproduct of it. But she was really pissed. Like
Yeah.
because we just had our son. I'm talking about her mom just died, and now I'm talking about this like months after her mom died. Like her mom died in July. I lost my eyesight in October.
She was mad that you seemed like you were giving up.
she
Yeah,
was
You
it was
were
angry at
like
the
giving
world.
up.
losing her.
Yeah.
She felt like she was losing everything. She was angry at the world, and the only person there to deal with it was him.
And then like when like even like October, I mean November, December of last year, I kept having these. I was in the hospital a lot. Y'all probably didn't even know, but I kept passing out. She was just so scared that something was gonna happen to me. She like that's why she be on me like, go get this stunt check, go get this check, and I'm like, I'm a bad patient, bro. But I know my body. When I need to go to the hospital, I go.
You have
You know,
to.
yeah, when I need to go, when I know like, nah, this fucked up, I'm going. I go, but if I'm just feeling like down for, I'll be like, nah, this shit, keep it moving. But now I'm getting older, so I don't want to be in the hospital in and out. Because I suffer from migraine every fucking day, bro. Every day for the last 4 years, I had a migraine. And sometimes that shit bring me to my knees, bro. And I can't do shit but later. And then sometimes I can shake it off and keep it moving. So, I have my good days and bad days. But my bad days, people not like saying that shit. So I try to not show that I'm in pain. So I try to, you know, make it do what it do. But
I wake
And
up. I wake up with a sprained ankle. I'm at that age now. You know what I mean? I don't know
yeah,
how I
mm,
and
do it. I sprain my ankle in my sleep. It's crazy now. I'm fucking getting old, dude. I get up and my back feels like my son was just running all over. Like it feels different now. When I was young, I was able to forget it. I feel like and some people, like we young, we burn ourselves out, man. It's so true. Like I was young, I was a burnout. Like I was doing work, demo work, and all that framing. Go up there, climb the LVL, go. You know what I mean on the rafters, and you're just doing just shit like barbaric, bro. And health is
I've
wealth, right?
been
At
there,
the
done
same
that.
time, yeah, you
I
know what I
did
mean.
about every job you could do.
Dude, I hated it. And then I went to go to do like wall, sanding and drywall and all that. And that shit was just like, ugh, all that shit is just like,
I love
it's,
drywalling, bro.
yeah. But even with that, like mudding and all that shit alone,
Yeah,
sand. That's just like not no offense, it's just not my type of work. I like this
yeah.
field. I like home improvement, trade work. I like all that stuff, right? But certain things I just can't do. Like you know what I mean? I'll make the mess, you guys clean it up. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I've
now
done a
I'm
couple
thinking
of
Frankie
jobs
should get
that are like
married
that.
because Frankie's gonna need his wife to take care of him. So now I'm
Nah,
thinking, don't wait until you get to that
it's true
point.
though. You're right.
If
She said
you
no.
go research your state laws and see what the ins and outs are of not being common law married, and see what
Right.
rights she
Well,
has.
yeah. Well, I think it's like 7 to 8 years out where I'm at right now. It probably even if it's 12 years, I'm beating that twice almost. You know what I mean?
Right, but look and see what her rights are,
Yeah, you're
and
right.
reevaluate where you're at, and challenge yourself
Yeah.
to whether or
You
not
know,
that's important.
I'm
I
gonna
was
I'm gonna
working at a college, Frankie. You'll laugh at this. They have to call the EPA department for dealing with special materials and different things. So there are things that you could do, and there are things that they would really frown at you for doing.
right.
I had two situations at the college that I had to deal with. One was they were putting in fiber optic cabling for cable TV with the purpose of taking an actual coax cable off the side of a dormitory building because they wanted to reface the building, and the cable needed to go.
Right.
And so we were up on the roof looking at that cable, and my boss was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to get a crane out here, and we're gonna have to get somebody in a bucket, and we're gonna have to remove all these cable restraints all the way down the side of the building." And as he was standing there talking about it, I just laid down on the edge of the building, and I grabbed that cable, and I whipped it,
That's crazy.
and it broke every one of those connectors all the way down to the ground, and the cable
Yeah.
fell to the ground.
You know what I mean? And you know that's not OSHA approved, but hey, you know the job is done. You know what I mean?
No,
That's how I feel.
no, he
I was
was, he
that
was,
type of guy, like hey, damn the shit, fuck, it fell right. That whatever it might
he
be.
was into my backside pretty hard over that. And then there
Right.
was another incident. I worked at the University of Kansas, and Allen Fieldhouse is probably one of the oldest coliseums in the country. And they had cast iron water pipe with lead jacketed cable in it for telephone wiring in the building. And we were trying to evacuate that water pipe to put a new cable in to run from one end of the building to the other because of the historical value of the building and all the other stuff that goes into that. You have to really plan to do like remodel or demo work or anything of that nature. And so the guy that I was working with and I were standing there, and I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Well, I know that there's lead cable in that pipe." And he said, this is going to take us forever to get this job done.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And I just looked at it and I said, "Close that door so nobody can see what we're doing." And I said, "Let's pull that cable out and then we'll
He
call
said
the
close the
EPA.
door.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
call
He
like,
the
said
EPA
lead
after it's out of
asbestos
the
not
pipe. Let
here.
them have it."
trust me, man. I'd be at a work site and they'd be like, oh shit, that's plutonium. And I'd grab it with some big gloves, like some fucking, I'd grab it with like fruit market gloves with the rubber grips and just try to throw it away. Like, nah, don't worry about it. Let's finish this shit. I want to get home. Like, it just
And
be
we had
those type
leather
of things,
gloves
like,
with those silicone grippers on the gloves,
that's
and it was
crazy.
literally
Grab the
hanging
lead
off of
wire.
that wire, pulled it out of that pipe.
Jeez.
There was 150 foot of that lead jacketed paper
Wow.
wrapped wire,
Right.
and we
And
pulled
y'all
that out of
wonder
that
why your
pipe.
body's hurt.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. A lot of us at this age, man, especially like if you was working, like, because a lot of people didn't really do a lot of. I did shit. You know, when you're in the field, you're doing like fucking gardening work, landscaping, all that stuff is different. Like,
Oh
if you
yeah,
really,
if you
it's
ever
not
done
suitable
sod
for
at a
work.
public school,
Yeah, this ain't sitting at a desk, doing a fucking 9 to 5. This shit's like you're out there. You doing. We got to watch for the bees. You hit the wrong bush, and now the bees is after you. You running down there with a fucking. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's crazy,
I did.
man. Being out
We
there in
did.
them field, back-breaking work, hard labor.
We
You know,
did.
sweat equity.
We did high school with sod one time, and then not only did they have the baseball diamond, football field, soccer field,
That's brutal.
all that stuff outside, like almost 3 acres of sod, and 6 foot rolls, one roll at a time. We sodded that whole entire school.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I be thinking about now. I'm getting older. I be thinking about all the kicks I took in the head, or the contact sports I played.
Yeah, it's true.
But I went 4 years like sparring 3 days a week, and I don't know how many concussions I done had. I be thinking about that shit now. Man.
Crazy word. All your injuries. Kobe probably had an ACL sprain that he could have sat out for 6 to 8 weeks, paid leave. You probably went through 3 of those in 1 year playing football in the streets with your buddies. You know what I'm saying? Like when we were young,
I broke my ankle and let it heal by itself. I had to get it re-broke and pins and shit put over it.
Bad business. I did that with my arm. That's brutal. That's the worst.
Did you ever run an 8-man sled?
Jeez, 8-man. Well, somebody's gonna pull it off. Somebody's gonna throw us all off. You know that for a fact. That's just the rules of nature. 8 dudes on one sled. Somebody's gonna fuck it up.
My best friend in football and I would get into trouble, and the defense and offensive coaches would get together and they'd make us go run the 8-man sled, the 2 of us by ourselves.
Oh wow, that's different. I thought you meant like a sled. What is the 8-man sled? Can you break it down in layman's terms?
Well, usually you drive the 8-man sled with the whole line, whether it's offense line or the defensive line. It's made for 8 men.
Yeah.
And
so you going against the whole offensive line, just you two? That's freaking amazing.
No, we would drive the sled. The 2 of us would drive the sled, and they would say, "Okay, well, you're going to run that for 50 yards."
Well, oh, I know what you're talking about now. Now I know. Yeah, that's brutal. Wow, that's
so one on one end, the other one on the other end, and y'all gotta drive it like that, or do you do it?
That's brutal.
In the middle? If we could rock that sled.
Y'all gotta do it. We had to drive it on the ends, bro.
About dumped it on the offensive coach one time.
If you drive that shit in the middle, that shit crazy, bro. It's
Wait, is that
hard
like
to
one
do it.
person behind another? Like 8 people?
No, so you ever see them like when you watch the football movies, them little pads and things they be hitting and the coach be standing behind them?
Yeah, he's standing
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
big
the thing they
So,
push. Yeah.
yeah. So imagine they got ones where it's 8 different pads. So at the same time, 8 people
Oh,
can
okay.
hit it simultaneously. But
Okay,
when you
gotcha.
There's weight
drive it,
on
you
it.
gotta hit it and push it. Yeah, it's heavy.
Hey,
It's metal
Craig,
frame. The
what size
fucking
were you?
frame by itself.
What size were you at
You
that
know,
time? You must have been a
I
monster,
used to
dude.
hate putting them damn things. We used to have to bring out the padding part and put it in. Man, that damn thing was heavy by itself. Just the pad and the frame for the damn
That's,
thing.
that's some different strength, you know.
Yeah, they had a 2-man sled too, and they wouldn't let us near that. They're
Yeah,
like,
two
"Oh no,
man
you
was
get on the
hard.
8-man sled. That thing."
8
We,
pounds.
yeah, we had big boys on our team. So even a two, I mean, let's say we play like the cornerback, like the backer, like if they can go hit the 2-man. But I played line. I was 6'2", 225, but the biggest guy on our team was 6'8", 340. Then we had 3 people over 300 pounds, over 6'5" on our team. So them by themselves, them motherfuckers was bench pressing almost 350, 400. I thought I was the shit when I hit the 300 club.
He was at the
But them
middleweight.
motherfuckers was, but these was the linemen, these was the beef boys.
What
I
position?
remember the one, I
What
played
position?
defensive end. I
Oh,
played
okay.
defensive end and outside linebacker.
That's a nice one. That's fun.
This
Probably because he had
one,
to reach. You know, the defensive end and outside linebacker, you got to be able to reach.
I was quick. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I was
they
quick.
put out
And
a bunch
I
those are the highest played, right? I think those are the most highest played in the NFL. Those positions right there, besides the quarterback.
bro, I
Those are
cracked my senior year. I cracked 3 helmets, bro. I cracked 3 of my helmets my senior year. I was
That's fire.
thumper, bro. I was violent, bro. I was fucking violent as hell.
Nowadays too, like Ray Lewis, you know, Lawrence Taylor. Not nowadays, but back in them days, Lawrence Taylor, Ray Lewis, like those dudes was they were like hybrids. You could put them anywhere, you know what I mean? You could put them at a safety, and they're gonna get that hit, you know what I mean? Like Ray Lewis, you see them highlights of Ray Lewis when he was crushing people. It's crazy, bro. Lawrence Taylor was a monster, you know what I mean? Yeah, like those dudes had that position. That's a position where, you know, whoever's blocking him got to get paid good money.
Yep. There they are. There's sleds.
Wow, look at that 8-man joint right there. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, that's nuts.
9 racks, bro.
I ain't even pulling that shit to the 5-yard line.
These the new ones though. The old ones is way more girthier.
Yeah, they were big. They had big
Yeah,
frames
they
on
was
the
big.
backside of them and everything.
Yeah, these are newer models. The ones we had. One of these guys. That's how I broke my ankle, bro. I was walking and the dude hit the sled, and this metal piece right here went right over my ankle.
Jesus Christ! Thanks for explaining in more detail. Thank you.
And I just got the starting job, so that's why I played the last 3 games with a broken ankle, and still had 15. I had 15 sacks, 1 interception, 3 forced fumbles.
Nice. You like Al Bundy in the poke high. Before touchdowns game.
We had a center that would like to, in practice, he would grab you by your ankles and then try to bulldoze you with the pads. Had those dummy pads that you play with. Or like a punching bag. And you'd hold them up and then would run the routes. And he'd grab you by your ankles and then just try to plow you into the ground. He started doing that crap to me, and I started sidestepping the bag on him, let him eat dirt.
Think about how much bones that are split and chipped from being us kids just playing rough as boys, right? Growing up, not even years, like you don't even know your shit is deformed. It never healed. You know what I mean? You got a nasty split in between your shin bone, like crazy shit like that. We won't even go to the hospital. We just rub it off like, fuck. You know what I mean? 2 days later, you get the cherry, you get the raspberry, it starts going away. Like you get the golf ball. It's brutal. Guys are brutal. We don't give a fuck sometimes. You know what I tell him, Craig? I say, I don't identify as a janitor no more. I'm a master of custodial arts.
You know what? I've known some custodians that have just made outlandish amounts of money and had good careers.
It's just the semantics, you know. They want to you want to label me a janitor. No, I can go better than that. Watch this.
It's a thankless job too, you know.
Right.
Kids don't
You're,
even know whether you're there or not most of the time.
right. You're in the element. You know what I mean? You're in the habitat. Just trying to adapt.
My grandfather owned a laundromat when I was in grade school, and he would, as a courtesy to the city, he would take all the mop heads for the entire schools, all the schools, and he would wash them at his laundromat for free.
That's crazy.
And then when he would drop the mop heads off to the schools, he would sweep the hallways while he was there.
That's how you do it. And you get a contract one of these days. You know, they like you. They say, you know what? Now next thing you know, you got your own business running. You know, you cleaning school floors or waxing school floors. Sometimes it's just like that. You know, you go cut grass with your buddies or go shovel some snow, and next thing you know, it's a whole business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he never charged the school district any money whatsoever. He would do that just out of, you know, love for the
Right.
kids.
Right. It's always like charity or volunteer work that stands out the most. You know?
Yep, never asked for any recognition, never asked for
Right.
for any gratification for it or anything of that nature. But
So
you
you're
know, the
telling me,
schools
sorry, Craig. You're basically telling me then don't rent the wood chipper.
don't rent the wood chipper. You know, and honestly,
I'm not gonna
like I
rent it.
said, do your mental homework and evaluate
I got you.
what could happen versus what you would want to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it sounds to me like you really truly love this woman.
Of course, without a doubt. She's right next to me.
Plan ahead. You
You
know?
heard? Blink 2 times. Blink twice.
Plan ahead. That's all I can tell you, because
Now you're
anything
right.
could happen. Anything
Yeah.
can happen.
Yeah, you know, it's scary though too, Craig. It's now it became to where the world is going to, right? The way the world is moving, right? Politically, right? A lot of stuff, like with just a lot of stuff going on, environmental wise, hygiene, whatever you want to call it, with these little random things that are going on, it's making life more complicated. And it's kind of like even when we went through that whole little situation, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say it, but that situation that happened a couple years ago. It kind of changed the norm of life, the standard, right? And that's what I'm saying. There's a whole bunch of people now that are like going through a whole nother. They're not on that same timeline they were on, right? Something altered their timeline. Like we're kind of, and I say we because if you're here, if you know, it's one of those things, right? That shit was meant to do that. You know what I mean? That's why you have to isolate yourself and not be social with people that you love. And it was like in my opinion, it was more like a bigger psyop. You know what I mean? To see. And it kind of worked, and that's why there's a lot of disconnect right now. People are coming out of the world looking like they're undiagnosed mental disorders. You find there's so many of them now, and it's
that situation took half of my family away from me. So
right. God bless you, man. But that's what I'm saying. Like the world's a scary place now. Even going to Walmart with my kids, I'm on. My head's on a swivel. It's not the same no more.
It
feel me?
The same, and it'll never be the same.
And people don't understand. It doesn't bother you till it hits you or it's around you, someone because it doesn't. We all could be apathetic. And you can see that guy homeless outside and not worry about him anything. He actually would change. You're like, nah, I don't got nothing. You got 35-cent jiggle in your pocket where you walk by. But the fact of the matter, if he was your cousin, it would hurt you a lot more. You know what I
mean? Let me say this. I would rather give a stranger $20 than have a stranger take $2 from me.
Right. I've done that. We all do that. We gave more. We probably I went with my daughter and gave a homeless guy half of my clothes from like 2 inches ago. I gave him a whole bunch of, like, I've given probably like half of my closet, and it's crazy. My daughter was there to witness it though, She like, why would you do that? Because my daughter kind of try to teach her the difference between homeless and crackheads, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like, I know people who don't beg and they're going out there and they toughen it out like the weather. Every season they change too, And then there's those ones that you just see them riding on a scooter with a flat with an AC on his shoulder, like, hey, what up, Johnny? Hey, like, nah, hold on, man. But yeah, out here, the situation, the conditions I'm in is different. So, my daughter, I try to give her clarity on her perspective. You feel me? Not her perception, her perspective.
Sometimes
and diagnose it the way she wants to digest it, but I want to help her. I want to just dust off home plate before she bats up. You know what I mean?
Sometimes the best way that the children can learn is to learn from people outside of their bubble.
Right. But you have to do it
No,
now
and
different.
and
Craig, it's different, Craig. Respectfully, the medicine now it's different. You have to apply. You have to apply high fructose, some soy base. These kids are not taking it regular no more, bro. There's a disconnect in the language. They don't know what. Well, I understand what you mean, right? But with these kids, you could talk to them and they'll sit there and wait right when they put on that game, or they laptop, or they go on their phone and hit that social media. They do not remember nothing you said to them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and one of the things that I love about my daughter-in-law is that once a week they turn all the electronics off and they do outdoor family time.
Nice.
100%,
We need to get
all
back.
electronics, all of
That's
them.
what we need to get back to. That would bring back family quality and everything because it's gone now. Value. You know what I mean? Everybody's the kitchen table's fighting with the living room now, you know? Nobody wants to sit and eat dinner at the table no more like back in the days. Everybody's in the living room on social media, people upstairs, they eat on their bed. Some people are taking the plate to go. You know what I mean?
You got to make time for things that are important for you, and
Yes.
and
Hey,
that's one of the things that my wife and I really had to have a balance at, because we had a mixed family. I had kids, she had kids,
Right.
and that was the hardest thing for her to understand, is that I took care of the house. That was my domain. And I'm not saying that I
Did
took
you
care
have
of
a
the
woman?
housework, but
Would you have a woman? Would you have a
the
woman
house
take
was
you
my
to the house?
kingdom, and it was my responsibility to look after the well-being of the house.
Right.
And she struggled with that because I paid all the bills.
Yeah.
I took care of all the financials.
Right.
And that
Somebody,
was my responsibility, and I also was responsible for the mental well-being of the house as
yeah.
well.
That's a man's role significantly, right? But the way the world is now, it's like women want to be independent, and some women don't want that. It's not even that they don't want it. I just feel like I don't know what would be the right way to put it, but they don't feel comfortable like that no more. Like the ways change now. You know what I mean? She don't want to be in the house baking pies. You know what I mean? While you on the steel mill, you know what I mean, or chugging oil out of the fucking ground. You know what I mean?
This is going to make you laugh, because the laundry and the kitchen were my domain.
Hey, that's my life, dude. I just finished doing the dishes about fucking 25 minutes ago. I can relate, dude.
I cooked
I'm about to go do the
did
dishes
the
now. I'm
dishes
about to
and
get
did the
off here
laundry.
with y'all.
That was my gig. My wife hated that because I would do the laundry before she could even get her hands on it.
Yeah, I'm still like that. Miss Delphi, man. I've been domesticated twice, so I know how it feels. Yo, salute the word, Commander Craig. Nice talking to you. Great dude.
Hey,
You do
if
radio,
you
man.
ever
That
need
fucking place is
clarity,
amazing.
hit the word up.
Appreciate it, man. Take care of your word. Thank you, man. I'll talk to you, my brother.
Oh, for sure, bro. For sure. Hey, I appreciate that, bro. I definitely
Take it
appreciate
easy,
that,
Frankie.
man.
You're a guiding light, brother. And sometimes people need that clarity. And the amount of value you have, you can do anything with your time, and you're spending it here.
I appreciate that, bro. It's always humbling. And it's been day one since day one, man. I'm happy. It feels good you coming back around, man, having these conversations. I miss this, man. I really miss this, man.
I
Having these
try to
conversations.
be in the fold and pay attention to what you're doing. But sometimes I'm engaged in other things, which I kind of,
Life be
and that's what
life,
hey,
brother. Yeah.
it's tough to balance my time, but I like to put my time where it's valuable. So, and I really, even with things that happen with me, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes and I do things that are human, just like anybody else. But even with the things that have happened inside of this community, sometimes you take a step back and look at things and then reevaluate it and come back, and things are different.
Yeah.
And I love Tay to death. We had a falling out, and that kind of simmered over and went by the wayside. And I think that things are at a good place now.
Yeah.
But sometimes things are not about me; they're about somebody else. So,
Yeah. That's how things be, bro. Papa will pass, man. That shit was hard. That shit hurted, bro.
it does hurt.
Yeah.
It still hurts to this day.
Man,
And
that shit hurt.
he had a message that was important to people, and I hope that people still tune into his content and listen to him,
So, yeah,
because he had some
man. I miss
relevance.
Pop. Yeah. I was just watching some videos today that he was in. I was watching something today. But just like you said, sometimes, life be life. It'd be times I force myself to come on here. It'd be times where I got to sit back, and it'd be times, where I just jump on and, so life be life. And like, I'm not active in a lot of people's chats no more. My daughter getting older. I'm doing more things with my kids. So, like, this is my only time. Like, I used to have free time throughout. Babies sleep all the time. When she was first born, it was fine.
They
My wife
don't when
was
they get
home.
bigger. It doesn't stop
Yeah, bro. It's like, man, she be on everything. Like, my daughter is like twice as worse than my son, bro. I can't. I gotta watch her 24/7. So I look down for 1 minute, she gone. Like, where the hell she go? And then my son be like, I don't know. He be sitting on the couch right next to me, like, I don't know. She was right there, Dad. And I'll be like, man, go in her room. She all in the A&D ointment. She got ointment everywhere. I'm like, go in the bathroom. There's toothpaste everywhere. Like, I didn't even notice the other day. My wife came home, like, what the hell happened in here? I'm like, what? I look at the mirror and it's like toothpaste all over. I'm like, I didn't even see that. I really didn't see it. I'm like, I don't know when that occurred, but like, man, she be into everything. She get into everything. He
Yeah.
was like, look, Daddy, I'm pretty like Mommy. I looked at her. She got marker all over her face. She be watching her mama put like makeup on. Now she put
Oh
marker. I'm
man,
like, oh
I miss those days, to be honest with you. And
man.
even with my middle son right now, his his stepson is about to graduate high school next month, and he's got 4 kids. And the oldest one's going on 18. The next oldest one's going on 14. And then there's a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. And it's a struggle for the daily life. And we've got 7 people in their household. And he calls me for clarity all the time. And I said, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I think. It's a tough balance to be a parent.
Yeah, man. Let me ask y'all something before we get off. So I developed this fetish. I'm allergic to bees, by the way, but I got this fetish of watching these bee removal things. I can't stop watching. I'm watching one right now while I'm talking to you. And it amazed me because these people, like, I guess they can do that because they ain't allergic to bees. But it's like, these people are fucking weird, man.
Bees are an important part of our natural environment.
Yeah, I just
You
need
know,
them to stay the hell away from me so I don't die. I don't bother bees. I just don't want them bothering me. Like, I
yeah.
can't.
You have an EpiPen because it's an important thing to keep on
Yeah,
track.
I keep an EpiPen on my side, bro. EpiPen and Benadryl are my two best friends. Because once a year I get hit by a bee for no reason. It just find me. My wife was driving down the street, one flew in the window and stung me in the lip. Like, where the fuck this shit come from? Like, every year, once a year, bro. I gotta get stung by a bee. It just has to happen. I
That
don't
my
You're
wife
remember one
believes
year in
I'm
my
you're
life I
funny.
never get. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I get stung every fucking year in my life.
No, you're funny because you're watching the bee videos.
Yeah, man.
You're
'Cause I'm
like, I
trying
need
to
to
learn.
study
Like,
these mofos.
yeah, man. I know about the honeybees, but I was watching these hornets, and I'm not allergic to hornets. I actually got stung by 5 of them. I was messed up, but I wasn't. I had to go to the hospital and stuff and get the. Cause I think it was like 32 of them stung me, but I didn't have an allergic reaction. I was just like all swollen and shit. They had to take the stingers out.
My best friend runs all the foot patrol people for the police department here in town that I live in, and they are required to carry an EpiPen on them on their person now. They used to have one in each squad car, and they quit doing that. Each officer now carries an EpiPen because they're about $1,500 to buy them without insurance.
For real, damn, I get mine for free.
Right, and there's a lot of people who can't afford them. So
Yeah,
they're
mine are like, I don't know, $500 with insurance.
yeah.
Oh damn.
So they're required to carry them on their person because of, somebody gets stung or something like that. They don't have access to that stuff, and the police will show up faster than the EMTs will.
Hmm.
It's crazy how expensive stuff is.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's
I need to get
random
that.
stuff that's super expensive.
I'm dropping down,
All right,
guys.
Okay, I am
all
too.
right, yeah, I'm about to get up. All right, I appreciate y'all popping
I
up.
just wanted to let you know, Commander, that those are dangerous people. That video is dangerous. It's not a good fit for a relationship judgment.
Oh, that video. Yeah, it's like yeah. I think it's like false hopes,
Yeah,
false dreams.
but that's what they do nowadays, man. They and because it don't affect them. Like these people be trying to put these. I'm not gonna say unmeetable, but the expectations they have for the people nowadays. Like, bro, ain't nobody gonna be doing all that shit. You'll
No,
find.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. You'll find what?
Like, you'll find, like, even when people find people who do all that, there's gonna be something else wrong. They're not tall enough. They don't make
Yes,
enough money. You know what I'm saying?
something.
Like,
But
yeah,
there's
it's
great
gonna be
husbands
something.
that are not doing that. They're great husbands that are
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily doing all that. That doesn't make them not great husbands.
Right.
Well, that's what I was saying. Before you get into a relationship, you need to make sure that your communication path is clear with whoever you're trying to be in a relationship with. But to put people into a category and say, this is what you want, every human's different. There's no two humans that are identical. So to say that you expect these characteristics is putting people into a box.
Yeah,
if you
they're gonna limit themselves.
what they're doing is just setting people up for failure. And the people that are putting information out there like that don't care about the information they're putting out there. They just think it's cute, and they get paid off of the clicks on it. So they don't really
Right.
care about the
Or it's fake, right? Because
audience.
it's fake. They just want the clicks, and they're portraying this like fake scenario.
Yeah, it's just clout to them, and clout is dangerous. And clout is a very dangerous thing to have.
And the biggest component I was saying was missing in that video too was the okay, you find this man who willing to do all this, but do you do
What
what
you
he
doing for
needs you to
him?
do? Yeah, what are you doing
Getting
to?
pregnant? That was it. Getting
Yeah,
pregnant.
you know,
Sitting
like
down,
what are
some
you?
pictures.
Are you willing to go mow the yard or shovel the driveway? There's a
He
balance.
doing all this, and that's what I say. Like with my wife, my wife adores me. She worships the fucking ground I walk on. You know why? Because I adore her and I worship the fucking ground she walks on. Because I'm a great person, she great to me. Because she's a great person, I'm great for her. So a lot of these people be having these unreasonable expectations. Oh, a man should do this, a man should do that. Man, but what the fuck are you gonna do? What do you do to deserve a man to do this? What do you do to deserve a woman to do that? That might be my question. People be looking for shit that they see it. Oh, I want this, I want that. You don't, you ain't qualified for that shit. Like you don't match up to that. You're not matching that frequency to obtain that. That's why you don't got it.
And the litmus test for me for a relationship is that if you can manage to take care of somebody's needs 100%. If you look at your spouse and you're not willing to do everything for them, then that's not your spouse. That you don't belong with that person. If you're not willing to do everything that it is that they need to have done, then you're in the wrong relationship.
Great. Right. You know what my wife told one of her friends, and she told her this right. She was on the phone right in front of me. I guess her friend asked her, had she ever thought about cheating on him? He said no. He said because all the stuff that he do, it don't even give me a reason to look outside. And when I do see people outside, I know they ain't willing to do what he do, so I ain't fucking that up.
Right, and that's the hardest thing for people to understand is you can't really experience love without pain. If everything was perfect, we wouldn't understand or know love. You got to have a balance of both. And I'm not saying that you just purposely go out and train wreck your life to have that kind of situation, but
I can honestly say my wife never gave me any form of pain. The most pain I felt with my wife was like when her parents died, and I felt her pain. But Like far as her, my wife, I'm blessed, bro. I'm not, because I've been in fucked up relationships. That's how I know I'm in a good one, because I've been in fucked up ones. So, but like we don't argue. Like I said, the only time we really got into it was that one time when she cussed me out. And I don't know what I did.
What I'm alluding to though is the fact that, like, say you're in the hospital overnight,
Hmm.
that shit drives her crazy. You're
Oh
not
yeah,
being
dude.
right there, you're at home, or if you got to go stay with a relative, or she needs to be gone for something to do with something. That's the real heartache when you're separated like that, because that's part of you that should be that's out of its normal element. If that
Man, I
makes
remember
sense.
when she first started working this job, she had to do midnights. Like I think it was like once a month or something like that. I hated that shit. I was the one used to doing midnight. So, but I wouldn't, when I went to work, she would sleep. The house was locked up. Everything was fine. But by her doing a midnight, it's like she leaving early. You know what I'm saying? I can't. I'm not woke. I used to wake up and make her call me every time he came home just to make sure she was straight. I'm just so used to being in position to protect her. That shit felt uncomfortable with her working midnights. I did not like that shit.
And the only way to get around that too is to communicate about it. But that's when you know you're in the right place with the right person at the right time. Is
Hmm.
you can't be without that person at any cost.
No, that's definitely my baby cake.
And that's
What
hard
the
to
fuck
find
is
that.
this? Oh, my bad.
It's
Bro, man, I ain't never going to the Amazon. These bees look like cats.
But anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here so you can finish up your stream. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, bro. I appreciate you. Man, shout out to Robert, too, in the chat, rocking and rolling with us. Appreciate you,
Yeah,
bro. Staying here.
but
That's it.
love and respect, brother. I will be back at another time.
Oh, for sure, bro. Appreciate you, man. Always, even if the link ain't dropped, if you want to pop up, just let me know.
I will do that. Like I said, I normally try to stay in the fold a little bit. I usually have something going on in the background, but I felt like I wanted to say something on that. The video just
Um,
really is dangerous. So
yeah, it definitely is. I appreciate you coming up and dropping that sauce on us, bro. I appreciate that.
I love you, brother. You know that.
I love you too, man. Have a good one, bro.
You too. We'll see you.
Nice to see you. Yes, Robert. Yes, man. I appreciate everybody who came up and rocked out with us, man. LD, the legend. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out for the super chat. Appreciate that. Who else came up here? Commander, appreciate you, sir. My boy Frankie Blanco, my boy Craig, appreciate y'all. Them day one since day one. Appreciate y'all, man. I don't know where Australia and Ozzy at. He probably somewhere throwing a boomerang at a kangaroo or something. But shout out to Ozzy. Shout out to Stoic Nine too, man. Shout out to Nine. Shout out to King Blackout. Shout out to the Nine. Mr. Gary Busted Down. He ain't want to come up here and talk about how the title was Power Bottom or whatever he was talking about, because he knew I was going to get his ass tonight. Shout out to my bro. Hey, he did a dope live earlier. Y'all got some time. Y'all getting off here. Y'all ain't sleepy yet. Go check out that. I believe I shared it on my community. He had a dope stream earlier. Go check that out. But yeah, man, I'll probably be back probably like Wednesday. I'm gonna take tomorrow off. I'm gonna chill tomorrow. My birthday is what? Friday, I think. I think we're gonna do it over here. Today the 22nd. Today my little sister. Yeah, so but yeah, man, I'm gonna chill tomorrow, man. I'm gonna do some stuff with my son at night. So he probably gonna be up late. It's supposed to be warm. We're gonna light a bonfire and go look at the stars tomorrow. I am not gonna be out here and be killing with my boy. But yeah, man, I'll be back sometime this week, probably before my birthday, and I'm not gonna be on my birthday. My birthday is the 25th. I don't even know what date it is. Friday. So I'm gonna come on Thursday night going into Friday, but I'm definitely not gonna be on Might not be on Saturday neither. Might pop up Saturday, but I will be on the 24th. Well, it'll be the 25th. It'll be after 12. So I'll be on there, man. For sure. But definitely won't be on tomorrow. But y'all know what I always say, man. Care about how you feel. These conversations to build nation. And if I say anything that resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that share button. Tell somebody. Help me spread the word. But until next time, we out.